Chapter 3869 Hishi, Hishi. When the spirit of the dragon dust poured into the dragon scales, it was like pouring cold water on the red-hot iron and emitting bursts of white smoke. Longchen's soul is in sharp pain, which is more painful than burning the soul. Longchen's ability to endure pain is very strong, but his face is still distorted by pain. "Master, what's the situation? How does it refuse me to brand my soul?" Longchen bit his teeth and said to the strong of the dragon clan, "I can't help it. It's been separated from me for too long, and it's self-conscious. It's not in this part of the world. It was the place where the dragon was buried that attracted it. It broke through the sky and began to practice here. It absorbs the power of chi and blood of the endless dragon corpse here to keep its divinity from losing. Moreover, it has evolved its own rules, which make use of the chi of chaos and the power of dragon blood here to practice self-cultivation. If it takes tens of thousands of years, maybe it will break away from the shackles of the dragon scale, form a dragon spirit, and open its own way of cultivation." The strong of the dragon race. This dragon scale is his, but over the years, in order to survive and retain its divinity, it has borne its self-consciousness and began to use the laws of heaven and earth to protect itself. It can be said that today's dragon scale has already possessed an independent consciousness, which is beyond the expectation of the strong dragon clan. Fortunately, it can recognize my fluctuation. It doesn't repel you, let alone attack you. This is a good phenomenon. You'll be successful sooner or later. Anyway, your soul is so powerful. The strong man of the dragon clan comforted. However, no matter how strong the power of the soul is, the burning pain is not what normal people can endure. But Longchen has no way but to continuously export the power of the soul. Half an hour later, a human figure pattern appeared on the dragon scale, which is exactly the appearance of dragon dust. It's just that this pattern is very light. If you don't pay attention to it, you can't see it clearly at all. But with this pattern, the spirit power of dragon dust finally has an attachment point, and the soul power can finally be concentrated. When dragon dust's soul power is consumed to 90%, his concentration drops rapidly, his mind is dim, his eyes are full of stars, and his body becomes very weak. At this time, the golden dragon scale finally had a reaction. A dragon scale pattern appeared in Longchen's mind. At that moment, dragon dust and dragon scale had a sense of soul connection. Successful when the spirit of Longchen was shaken, he was almost unable to hold on, because the power of soul was consumed so much that his concentration dropped rapidly, and he began to be unable to do what he wanted, and even thought he was going to fail. Success? It's still early. First hide in the dragon scale to recover. The strong of the dragon race. The dragon dust moved and rushed directly to the dragon scale, because it was branded with a soul mark. The dragon scale was like a treasure that had been recognized and easily passed through its body protection light. My God, it's full of chaos. Come to the dragon scale, dragon dust can't help but shout excitedly. In the past, dragon dust has sensed the air of chaos several times. Especially in the chaotic space, the air of chaos is so rich that you can feel the fog of chaos when you reach out. But here, as if in the water, the chaotic gas has changed from gas to liquid. Standing here, there is no need to absorb, and the chaotic gas is constantly squeezing into the body. Don't scream, time is pressing, quickly use the chi of chaos, restore the power of the soul, summon your dragon blood legion to absorb dragon blood. The strong of the dragon race. The boy who has the inheritance of ghost fox and evil dragon has been here, but he didn't have the ability to get close to my dragon scale to absorb the essence of the golden dragon. When he has absorbed it, he will come back. He can't absorb my scales, but he may make trouble for you. Hurry up. The strong dragon reminds me. Longchen didn't dare to neglect him. He opened up the divine ring and absorbed the chi of chaos with all his strength. It was only for one incense stick that he had consumed almost all his soul power, and he had recovered completely. Not only has it been restored, but the power of the soul has become richer and purer under the nourishment of the chaotic chi. Moreover, the divine consciousness of dragon dust can be extended further, and its affinity to heaven and earth has become stronger. Long Chen took out a plaque and injected the power of soul into it. Suddenly, countless runes on the nameplate lit up. "What are you doing?" asked the strong dragon. "I will call on my brothers? Didn't you arrange it?" Long Chen was stunned. "Stupid, your nameplate can only call the dragon blood soldiers in Haotian City. What about the dragon blood soldiers you haven't contacted yet?" asked the strong dragon. This Dragon Dust suddenly stopped talking. He suddenly thought of something and asked in surprise, "Master, do you have any method?" Of course, everyone in the Dragon Blood army has practiced the Dragon Blood Body refining technique. Here, you can use the Dragon Blood Body refining technique to stimulate the blood call by using the power of the dragon scale. As long as the Dragon Blood soldiers are in the 3000 world, no matter where they will receive the induction. Now I'll give you the calling formula, and you'll remember it carefully. The strong man of the dragon clan finished and taught him a very strange set of syllables. Long Chen studied with his heart and realized it with his heart. After the fusion, all the syllables converged into a roar. The loud and clear sound of the dragon chant sounded through the heaven and earth, only to see a golden ripple spread in all directions, across the mountains and rivers. This voice, like the call of the soul, has spread to every corner of the world, no matter on the top of the mountain, or underground, or in the large array of closed dragon blood soldiers. At the same time, they opened their eyes, their faces were full of excitement, and they got up one after another and sped away in one direction. Countless figures, flying in different directions from 3000 worlds, are all moving in one direction. The sound of Long Chen's singing echoed in the sky for a long time. At that moment, Long Chen seemed to be the dragon god controlling the heaven and earth, overlooking the whole world. He even felt that countless dragon blood soldiers heard his call and were flying towards here. At that moment, Long Chen was excited and his eyes were red. These brothers who followed him were going to meet again. He missed them too much. "Master, can I absorb essence blood now?" Long Chen asked, and he couldn't wait. "No, not yet." The strong dragon responded. "What?" Long Chen was stunned. "You must wait for your dragon blood warriors to come and someone will help you protect the Dharma before you can absorb dragon blood. Otherwise, if there is too much noise, it will attract countless strong people to come. If no one protects you, you will die." The strong of the dragon race. How big is the movement? Long Chen was surprised. Well, below the dragon scale is the Eye of Chaos. Once you start to absorb dragon blood, the Eye of Chaos will erupt. Compared with the Eyes of Chaos, the current eruption of chaos is just like the urine of a child, which is not comparable at all. When the time comes, all the strong men in the world will rush in like crazy, whether they are from outside or from home. At that time, you will be in a weak state and unable to fight back. If no one protects you from Dharma, you will surely die. The strong of the dragon race. Long Chen's heart is cluttering suddenly. In this way, does he not want to be the enemy of the strong in the whole world? Boss, just then, two trembling voices came, and two strong men with strong stature came flying like meteors. When they arrived, the earth kept shaking, as if excited by their arrival. When Long Chen saw them, he was very excited, because they were not others. They were Li Qi and Song Mingyuan. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3870. We haven't seen each other for more than a year. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan are still the same. However, they are full of wind and frost on their faces. Obviously, they are much more mature than in Tianwu. After they arrived, the earth vibrated rhythmically and seemed to welcome them. Both of them became stronger, full of the demeanor of the peerless strong, but when they saw the dragon dust, they could not help but burst into tears. Boss. When they rushed to the dragon dust, they were sobbing, and the three hugged each other fiercely. They were afraid that everything in front of them was a dream, and they would wake up as soon as they let go. Brother, we don't cry. We have business to do. Long Chen wiped tears from the corners of his eyes and patted them on the shoulder. To Long Chen's surprise, the two men's physical strength is extremely strong, and the strong force of thick soil makes them seem to be connected with the earth and have roots. The sense of massiness makes both of them marvel. However, there was no time to ask about their recent situation. Longchen said, "I'll start the dragon blood mark for you. You are ready to accept the baptism of dragon blood." With these words, a rune in the shape of a dragon appeared on the hands of dragon dust, and they were pressed on their foreheads. The bodies of Li Qi and Song Mingyuan trembled at the same time. A dragon-shaped mark lit up on their foreheads, and then the dragon scales under the dragon dust glowed, and endless dragon qi poured into their bodies. Puff! Suddenly, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan burst into blood at the same time, and Long Chen was startled. "Master, what's the matter?" The two of them can't bear the confrontation of the will of the real dragon. If you force my dragon blood into their bodies, they will collapse and become lunatics even if they don't explode. Therefore, activating the rune of the real dragon is their limit. They should not be forced to absorb the essence of other dragon kings. With the rune of the real dragon, they will not be rejected by the corpses of the dragon king. They will get twice the result with half the effort. The strong of the dragon race. Long Chen saw Li Qi and Song Mingyuan face pain, but they did not say a word, gritted their teeth, and finally had to give up. Originally, he wanted Li Qi and Song Mingyuan to absorb a little blood essence here, even a little bit. Obviously, he thought too much and couldn't work at all. In other words, only he could absorb the power of the dragon scale. What he could do was to help them brand the real dragon rune. Li Qi and Mingyuan, I have branded the real dragon runes for you. There are 18 Archean dragon kings around you. You can choose a suitable dragon king, but absorb the essence of their dragon king to improve your physical and blood power. Dragon Dust Road. Can we really absorb the essence of these dragon kings? When Li Qi and Song Mingyuan arrived, they saw two terrible dragon kings. The breath of light made them tremble. Hearing this, they couldn't believe their ears. Go ahead. Time is tight. You can absorb as much as you can. There is only one chance. Long Chen patted the two people on the shoulder, indicating that they should go quickly. The two nodded and ran to an Archean dragon king. As expected, with the mark of the real dragon, they could easily step on the head of the Archean dragon king. Two people perform dragon blood forging technique. Two people's whole body blood overflow at the same time. There is gold blood pouring into their bodies, to replace their blood essence. Both of them are earth cultivators. Their spiritual roots have been changed because of the earth treasure given to them by dragon dust. Absorbing the essence of Dragon King will not destroy their attributes. Moreover, the strong of the soil system is also the power type controller. The strong power will make their control of the soil system power more powerful. As soon as they arrived, they got the benefits of Tianda. They felt the endless blood essence of the Dragon King and poured into their bodies to transform their blood vessels. They were so excited that they almost cried out. They were so happy to hang out with the boss. All of a sudden, the sky and the earth trembled, and a light lit up the heaven and earth. When the light approached, Dragon Dust could see clearly that it was a bald head with no grass and shining oil. It was this bald head, which reflected the divine light between heaven and earth, and looked so dazzling. Guiyang Longchen, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan yelled at the same time. The head can judge heaven and earth, and the light can shine from ancient to modern times. In 9 days and 10 places, no one's head has ever been able to let people feel such light. Boss, the sky is bright and the visitors are near, and the bald man's face becomes clear. The visitor is no other than Gu Yang, head of the first army of the Dragon Blood Army. At this time, Guiyang is more and more strong. His muscles are high and high. Under his skin, he seems to be crawling with small snakes. His essence seems to explode, giving people endless pressure. Gu Yang, head of the first army of the Dragon Blood Army, meet the boss. When Gu Yang saw the dragon dust, his voice trembled with excitement, and he even prostrated himself in front of him. Dragon Dust quickly hugs Gu Yang, eyes red, excitedly scolded, "Nonsense, what light? When does my brother need these incorruptible etiquette?" Bang bang, Long Chen patted Gu Yang on the shoulder, making a thumping sound, as if beating on the city wall. Gu Yang's body is too strong. Obviously, he also has his own adventures. Well, it's not the time to reminisce about the past. Go and absorb the blood essence of the ancient Dragon King. After you have absorbed it, give me Dharma protection, and I will also absorb it. The dragon dust also branded Gu Yang with the real dragon mark, so that he could also absorb dragon blood. Gu Yang had a lot of things to say, but now it's not a good time to speak. Just like Li Qi and Song Mingyuan, he found an Archean dragon nearby and began to absorb blood essence. Boss. Boss. Soon, one after another dragon blood soldiers appeared. They came from all directions. When they saw Long Chen, Gu Yang, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan, they were all in tears and their voices were hoarse. Dragon dust did not have time to reminisce with the public, so that each of them was branded with the real dragon mark, so that they quickly absorbed the essence of the real dragon. Some dragon blood soldiers are not very talented. They rush into the 3,000 worlds by virtue of their ruthlessness. They don't even want to go back alive. Some dragon blood warriors are not even the first generation. Longchen is ashamed and distressed. He quickly takes out Tiandao fruit for them and lets them eat it. After becoming the most powerful one, he can absorb the power of dragon blood. They'll go, Longchen. I've just made a small fortune, but you've made a big one. Suddenly the space trembled. Mo Nian, Xia Chen and Guoran also came. When they saw the dragon scales at the foot of the dragon dust and the Archean dragon corpses around them, they were shocked. It's very nice of you to come. You can help me protect Dharma and I will absorb the power of dragon blood. Seeing the arrival of Mo Nian, Long Chen was very happy. Without waiting for Mo Nian to agree, he directly condensed a lot of real dragon marks and handed them to Xia Chen, who would distribute them to the following dragon blood soldiers. Already some can't bear the dragon dust, arranged properly, sitting on the dragon scale, hands printed. Boom! The golden dragon scale trembled suddenly, and the endless runes on the dragon scale lit up. The liquid of gold poured into the dragon dust. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3871 Boom! When the golden liquid poured into the body of dragon dust, the body of dragon dust was shocked and the spirit of the whole body flowed around, just like being coated with a layer of gold powder. Boom! And chaos, the earth gushes out. 9 days above the emergence of a 1,000,000 miles long dragon pattern, this huge dragon-shaped pattern formed a huge totem, lit up the whole world. From any corner of the 3,000 world, you can see it. Eye of Chaos, Land of Dragon Veins? When Mo Nian saw the dragon totem above the 9 days and looked at the surrounding landscape, he was shocked. The so-called dragon vein is the vein of the movement of qi in one side of the world and is in charge of the lifeblood of the whole world. The earth broke open, and the air of chaos gushed, shaking the 3,000 world. The giant dragon of hundreds of millions of miles was manifested in the sky. The endless dragon power radiated to 9 days and 10 places. The holy and magnificent breath spread to all parts of the 3,000 world. They'll go. There's so much chaos. It's much stronger than the place you went to. No, I'm going to condense the crown of heaven. Guoran saw the gushing air of chaos and exclaimed excitedly. After that, he rushed straight to the past. Guoran, don't mistake the order. We should first absorb the essence of the Dragon King, and then condense the heavenly crown. Summer morning reminds Guoran loudly. Get summer morning's remind, he just remembered. Straight to a gold dragon king gallop away. He'll go and you'll all go. What shall I do? I have to absorb the spirit of chaos. Tu Emon Yang shouts out unhappily. You don't have to worry. It'll be fine soon. You'll protect the Dharma for the eldest, and it'll replace you later. Guoran didn't look back. As time went on, more and more dragon blood soldiers came. They were excited to see Long Chen and others, but they didn't have time to communicate. Mo Nian could only absorb the qi of chaos and observe the situation around him. From time to time, Mo Nian would distribute the real dragon seal in his hand to the later dragon blood soldiers. At this time, the dragon dust has completely entered into a state of meditation. His whole body is wrapped in golden divine light. The whole person is like a statue, and all his breath is isolated. The dragon dust in Shenhui is feeling the drop by drop of golden dragon blood, slowly pouring into his body. Almost dried up blood, moistened by dragon blood, began to fill up. Each drop of dragon's blood, with its supreme power, enters into the meridians of Longchen. Every drop of dragon's blood absorbs a drop of dragon's blood. It shrinks abruptly once, and the strong fluctuation makes the meridians of dragon dust prick, and the meridians appear fine cracks. Longchen secretly congratulates himself. Thanks to the strong dragon clan's earnest teaching, he made him try his best to improve the meridians. If it was not for the promotion of the meridians to the extreme, this drop of dragon blood would be enough to break his meridians and could not be absorbed at all. Although the meridians were prickly, everything was within the endurance of Longchen. Drops of dragon blood slowly poured into Longchen's meridians. Longchen's meridians were remodeled by the dragon's blood, and the transformed muscles and veins became golden and incomparable. What a powerful force! Every drop of dragon blood brings the powerful power of dragon dust. Every drop of dragon blood is like a volcano. That's powerful? Cut, where are we going? Take your time, you will see what is the strongest blood in the 9 days and 10 places. The strong man of the dragon nationality disdains the tunnel. His voice is full of pride. Master, can you speed up? I'm afraid of a long night's dream. Longchen Dao, he knows everything is under the control of the strong dragon clan, but he is afraid that for a while, too many enemies will come. You know, there is too much activity here. The strong men of the whole 3,000 world are rushing to come here at this time. He needs to speed up. No way. My blood essence contains supreme will and power. That is the result of my practice for tens of thousands of years, through hardships and endless danger. Although in the will, you have no problem, but physically, you are a human race, far from our dragon clan. Although you are strong, you grow up too fast. Unlike me, you spent tens of thousands of years to precipitate and digest. Once you speed up, your meridians will still be destroyed instantly, and people will die. In addition, speed up the penetration of dragon blood is not so thorough. If the dragon blood cannot evenly penetrate every corner of your body, there will be defects. Once there is a flaw, you will not be able to control the power of my blood, not to display my own magic power. If you have my blood, you must meet my requirements. Otherwise, if you are defeated, I can't afford to lose that face. The strong of the dragon race. Hearing from the strong man of the dragon clan, Longchen's heart is dark. The essence of the strong man of the dragon clan is obviously more powerful than he imagined. His meridians are so terrible that he can still be burst. How strong is the dragon clan? Boom! Suddenly, a figure flew out of the top of a giant dragon. The surging force of chi and blood made the void ripple. Ha ha ha! The man was no one else. It was Guoran. He looked up at the sky and laughed with arrogance. I, Guoran, finally formed the crown of the heavenly way. From then on, he roamed the rivers and reigned in the world. Guoran is full of vigor and vitality, covered with golden scales, as if dressed in a golden armor. On the scales, there are countless dragon patterns circulating, just like a giant dragon wandering among his scales. The most shocking thing is that there is a halo behind Guoran's head, just like a golden crown hanging over his head, which shows that his breath is noble and holy and can't be blasphemed. He'll go. Is that easy? Emon Yen looks at Guoran, and his face is full of shock. According to the law, it takes at least 10 days and a half months to form the crown of heaven. Guoran has achieved it in just a few hours. What is the situation? What Emon Yen doesn't know is that Guoran's talent is very poor. All he has now is basically made by Longchen the day after tomorrow. Guoran belongs to the type of serious deficiency. Heaven feels that he is too poor. Among all the living creatures in the world, Guoran is the worst. Therefore, the way of heaven will compensate Guoran and reduce all the difficulty of his advancement. The more gifted Tianjiao is, the more difficult it will be to condense the crown of Tiandao. This is the way of heaven. Emon Yen didn't know the mystery of this. Looking at it for several hours, he achieved the golden dragon battle body and condensed the crown of the heavenly way. He was simply shocked. "Leave it to me. You can absorb the spirit of chaos." Guoran patted his chest and took over the remaining seal of the real dragon from Emonien's hand. Emonien also does not delay. Here, the chaotic gas is full, which is the best time to condense the crown of the heavenly way. It cannot be missed. He flies into the void, with the vision behind him, and the huge palace roars. He begins to absorb the chaotic chi between heaven and earth. Emonien just began to close down, and the creatures of various nationalities began to appear around him. Obviously, they were all startled and rushed over at the first time. Dragon dust. Among these creatures, one of them saw the dragon dust on the dragon scale. In his eyes, he radiated the killing intention and went straight to the dragon dust without saying a word. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3872. That man is no one else. It is Wang Tinglao, the first master of the Purple Ting Empire. Beside him, he is followed by thousands of Tianjiao of Ziding Empire. Wang Tinglao was robbed of the most precious blade of the Purple Ting Empire by Huolinger at the place of crossing the lute. It was Wang Tai's magic weapon that swept across the world in the north. Wang Tinglao was killed by Wang Tinglao and taken away by Huolinger. He was almost crazy. After the robbery, he closed the door to heal his wounds, and at the same time found a treasure land to absorb the chi of chaos and stabilize the realm. At the same time, he was ready to condense the heavenly crown. Only by condensing the heavenly crown can he exert his real power. After he was ready to condense the crown of the heavenly way, he asked Long Chen to take back the crazy blade. You know, crazy blade is a unique weapon and the treasure of the Purple Thunder Empire. It is of great significance and can never fall into other people's hands. He summoned the strong men of the Purple Ting Empire to drive away all the living creatures in a treasure land and enjoy the resources. However, after absorbing only a few days, he was shocked by the vision here, so he gave up the treasure land and killed directly. When he saw the dragon dust sitting on the dragon scale, although the dragon dust was covered with golden light, just like a statue, but not to mention turned into a statue, even if it turned into ash, Wang Tinglao could recognize him. Death. When Wang Tinglao saw the dragon dust, the murders exploded, but he didn't want to think about it. He opened his big hand, held the thunder spear and stabbed at the dragon dust. He can also see that the dragon dust at this time, in a strange state, cannot fight back. This is the best time to kill him. Boom! But Wang Tinglao rushed to the middle. A figure suddenly appeared and stood in front of him. With one punch, he broke his thunder spear. Wang Tianyao's whole body was shocked by the terrible air waves. He tumbled out in a somersault. He was so angry that he didn't find Guoran behind the dragon dust. Guoran stands on the void, covered with golden scales and armor, and still keeps the posture of boxing. It seems that there is still the roar of the ancient dragon between heaven and earth, and the glory is surging, which sets off Guoran's power. Guoran, like the endless power of the sea. At this time, Guoran's face was excited. He had never felt such a terrible power in his life. He could not even believe that the surging power was his. With the power of dragon blood surging, the runes on the supreme arm circulate. When the dragon blood arrives, all the runes on the supreme arm are broken. Even if there is no armor, he can completely control the supreme arm. The most terrifying thing is that, driven by the dragon blood, the runes on the supreme arm are very active. Under the nourishment of the dragon blood, it seems like Guoran is making some changes and breakthroughs. Who are you? Wang Tinglao was surprised and angry. He didn't know Guoran. Under the dragon dust seat, is Guoran the commander-in-chief of the dragon blood army? Guoran saw Wang Tinglao asking for his name and immediately cried out. What dragon blood regiment, what commander-in-chief, are all bullshit. Die for me. Wang Tinglao roars and learns that Guoran is the subordinate of Longchen. He has no scruples anymore. Behind him, the sea of thunder emerges, and he calls out a vision. What are you? You dare to talk like crazy? Come on. Today, Grandfather Guo teaches you how to be a man. Guoran sneered. At this time he was full of strength, fearless of any strong man. In the face of Wang Tianyao's provocation, Guoran rushed forward. The golden saber roared and the power of dragon blood broke out. The first form of opening the sky, boom. At that moment, Guoran seems to be the god who dominates the world and controls all the laws of heaven and earth. As soon as he cut it out, countless invisible forces rushed into the long sword, and the power of a knife sword. Even Guoran was shocked. The crown of heaven? How could it be? When Wang Tianhao saw the Tiandao crown behind Guoran's head, his face changed a lot. How could someone condense the Tiandao crown so quickly? Sky Thunder Shield, Wang Tianhao was surprised and angry. Suddenly, his hands folded together, and the vision behind him surged to his body. The sea of thunder of 10,000 li suddenly compressed into a thunder shield of about 10 meters in size. Thunder shield roared, condensed to the extreme, sending out the terror of divine power, but also contains the power of violent punishment. His thunder power also comes from the natural calamity, also has the terrifying destructive power. Bang! When Guoran's sword was cut down, Wang Tianyao's thunder shield was smashed in people's astonished eyes. Poof! Guoran's long sword was still powerful. He went straight to Wang Tianyao's head and cut it off. In his busy schedule, Wang Tianhao crooked his neck. This knife was cut on his body armor was broken, and the long knife cut a big cut in his chest. Blood spattered and bones were seen. Wang Tianhao should be the sword and fly, but Guoran stood on the void foolishly, did not take advantage of the victory and pursue. He was scared silly by his own terror knife. It turns out that there is such a terrible power in the crown of heaven. With one strike, the heaven's way will sing together, and the auxiliary power is several times more than my own. Guoran looked at his long knife as if in a dream. At the moment of his attack, it was as if there was an invisible big hand between heaven and earth, holding his knife and increasing his strength several times. What the early generation, what the most powerful, all are bullshit. I am the real favorite of heaven. God is my father, ha 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 ha. Guoran looked up at the sky and laughed. This knife made him realize what it means to be close to the way of heaven. In the past, he thought that being close to the way of heaven was to ask for help from the way of heaven in a very humble way, and the power he could pray for was very limited. But now it is different. At the moment when he moves out, God doesn't need him to pray or borrow. Instead, he takes the initiative to give him strength. Asshole, even if you condense the crown of heaven, I can kill you. Wang Tianhao roared, and the vision behind him opened up again. This time, among his visions, there was a pagoda connecting heaven. At the same time, a pagoda appeared in his hand. As soon as the pagoda came out, the thunderbolt engulfed the heaven and earth. Tens of thousands of miles of space, the endless thunder billowed, and the heaven and earth roared, just like a disaster. Cut, who are you scaring? Even if you let your horse come here, you will kneel down and beg for mercy today. At this time, Guoran had some expansion. Even in the face of the unknown ancient pagoda, he did not have the slightest fear. On the contrary, his fighting spirit was soaring. Little Lord, there are tiger dragon corpses nearby. No one has occupied them. Someone has come. We will not start again, I'm afraid. At this time, in the distance, the strong man of Purple Ting Empire cried out. They found other dragon corpses. Wang Tianhao was preparing to urge the pagoda with all his strength. When he heard the man's words, he hesitated and suddenly clenched his teeth. Boy, let me introduce you to life for a few days. Finally, he chose to occupy the dragon corpse first, because each dragon corpse is equivalent to an eye of chaos. It is the place where the air of chaos erupts most strongly. The chi of chaos is also what he needs most at present. This is the ultimate purpose of his coming here. He also saw that Guoran formed the crown of heaven. Although he was confident of defeating Guoran, he could not do it with 3 moves and 2 moves. He had no time to waste and had to give up. It's stupid. It's hard to fart. Seeing Wang Tianhao rushing to the dragon in the distance, Guoran disdains the tunnel. But he did not dare to chase after him. He wanted to protect the dharma of dragon dust and Mo, and he did not dare to leave too far away. Suddenly, there was a space fluctuation, which scared Guoran. He roared, and the long knife went straight to the direction of Long Chen and cut it down. But his hand was slow, a dagger, flashing cold light, straight to the dragon scale on the dragon dust stabbed. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3873. The man appeared too strange, there was no sign in advance. Guoran opened the crown of heaven, had a strong control over the surrounding space, but still did not find him. Ji Wuming, when you see the figure, Guoran is surprised and angry. The man is proud of the first day of the blood-killing hall, Ji Wuming. Ji Wuming's dagger directly stabbed Longchen, but Guoran had no time to stop it. However, just when Ji Wuming's body was a few feet away from Longchen, the golden dragon scale under him suddenly trembled, and Ji Wuming snorted and was ejected by the invisible divine power. Ha ha, if you want to attack my boss, dream about it. Seeing that Longchen is safe and sound, Ji Wuming can't hurt Longchen at all. Guoran can't help laughing and runs straight to Ji Wuming to kill him with a long knife. Ji Wuming's eyes were full of shock. Looking at the golden dragon scales under the dragon dust, he felt the threat of terror. Bang! When Guoran cuts down, Ji Wuming dagger greets each other. With a bang, the space behind Ji Wuming collapses, but he does not move. He actually transfers the power of Guoran's knife to the void behind him. Guoran was shocked. He didn't see him for a period of time. Ji Wuming's power of space operated freely, sending and receiving from his heart. There was no flaw in it. His strike could not bring him any harm. All of a sudden, Guoran felt extremely dangerous. At this time, Ji Wuming's dagger had already been cut in his throat, so fast that he didn't have time to react. Click, click. The dagger crossed the armor, and there were countless sparks, which made Guoran's scalp numb. At the moment when he sensed the danger, he immediately called out the battle armor. His black dragon armor did not block a cut of the dagger and was cut a big hole. Fortunately, he was in the state of fighting with dragon blood. The scales on his neck blocked the dagger, but the chill of the dagger made his scalp numb. Good reaction, but still useless. It's easy to kill you. A blow did not cut off Guoran's head. Ji Wuming was slightly surprised, but soon turned to disdain. Fart! Guoran was frightened and angry, and a knife fell suddenly. Ji had no life to snort. The dagger whirled rapidly in her hand, turning from forehand to backhand. It crossed a strange arc and hit Guoran's long knife. At the same time, a strange line appeared on his left hand and patted Guoran's face. Ji Wuming had just given her hand, and suddenly her face changed. The rune on her left hand changed into another rune in an instant. Hishi, hishi. There are countless pinholes in Guoran's armor chest, and many gold needles shot out. In a flash, they pierced Ji Wuming's body. At such a close distance, Ji Wuming has no chance to escape. Ha ha ha, follow me. Guoran laughs. His attack is just to attract Ji Wuming's attention. The real killing move is the mechanism on the chest. This move is very easy and does not give Ji Wuming a chance to react. Looking at the flying needle penetrating Ji Wuming's body, Guoran is excited, but soon his smile froze on his face. Flying needle through Ji Wuming's body, but there is no blood overflow. At the same time, a fierce sense of crisis suddenly enveloped Guoran. Guoran didn't want to think about it, but suddenly his wings closed behind him, forming a huge shield. When a burst of sound, a dagger came from Guoran's back. On top of the wings behind Guoran's back, a huge force stabbed the wing shield out of a pit, and Guoran was shocked to fly far away. Guoran was shocked. There were several forms of his wings, which could be switched back and forth. When the wings changed into beetle wings, they were in the strongest defense state. But even in this state, the wing was still pierced out of a pit, and several runes were destroyed. It can be seen how terrible Ji Wuxing's attack was. Guoran can't help but scare out a cold sweat, thanks to his condensation of the heavenly crown. Perception is different from ordinary people. If it was before, he would have died in Ji Wuming's hands. Damn it, I don't believe I can beat you. Under the shock and anger, it also inspired Guoran's sense of war. As soon as he broke through, he was frustrated. That feeling was too cowardly. Boom! Guoran's armor glows, and the golden divine light flows on the double sabers, and goes straight to Ji Wuming to kill him. Ji has no life to attack twice in a row. Can't Guoran howl, eyes with a look of fear. Before, he didn't take Guoran seriously at all. He knew that Guoran's nearly two had never been taken seriously. But now, this Guoran let him miss twice, and his reaction speed is extremely amazing. The most important thing is that just now Guoran broke out with a gold needle. He was actually shocked. If it wasn't because he absorbed a lot of chaos recently and was more comfortable in controlling space and time, he couldn't avoid Guoran's insidious moves. On Guoran's gold needle, there is a rune blessing. When he sees blood, he will explode. Even if he is as strong as Ji, if he is stabbed, he can drink a pot. Therefore, facing Guoran, even if he was as powerful as him, he felt some headache. As Guoran's armor was armed to his teeth, he could not completely break the defense, and it was very difficult to cause substantial damage to Guoran. However, Guoran's Yin moves are constant. If he is attacked by Yin, I'm afraid he can't bear it. Seeing the strong men coming in one after another and fighting for those dragon corpses, he snorted coldly, "I'll take your life later." In the moment, the body is empty, just like water. Guoran cut the air with a knife, and had lost the trace of Ji Wuming. Guoran snorted coldly, "If you can't see anything that can't be seen, you know to hide and hide. You can fight against your Lord Guo for 30,000 rounds. Guoran suffered losses in a row, some unwilling. He has just condensed the crown of heaven, but also just condensed the body of the golden dragon battle, cannot fully adapt to the current strength. Most importantly, because of the infusion of the Dragon King's blood essence, his strength has soared by dozens of times, and his magic dragon armor is built according to the original strength, matching the original strength. Now, with the rapid increase of power, the magic dragon armor can't keep up with his power demand. As a result, Guoran is very uncomfortable. He can't play out his terror power. He will be very angry. However, his drinking and scolding Ji Wuming ignored, so rushed to other places, to absorb the gas of chaos. Guoran did not dare to chase after the past. After all, he had to protect the Dharma for the people, dare not be careless. Although dragon dust is protected by dragon scales, it is difficult for others to hurt him, but the people of the Dragon Blood Legion such as Emon Yen, Xia Chen and Gu Yang can't do it. In case someone stealthily attacks them, it will be troublesome. He can only guard by the people. Boom! Void concussion, black gas rolling, from the horizon rushed, in the endless black air, appeared a terrible creature. When the creature appeared, all the strong people present, one by one, felt a tingle in their scalp, and looked at the creature in the black air with horror on their faces. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3874. The black gas gushed. Just like the door of hell opened, endless gas of death swept across all directions. In the endless black air, a living creature with ancient flavor appeared in front of people. The creature had horns on its head, wings on its back, claws like hooks, and its breath made the laws of heaven tremble. Corpse plague. When he saw that creature, Guoran's heart leaped wildly. This creature was the corpse of the powerful Archean wing demon clan stolen by corpse plague in that place. At the beginning, the corpse was in control of the corpse and wanted to attack and kill people. As a result, she was unable to control the body. She was almost taken down by the public and finally ran away in a hurry. However, now he is steady and natural. He is no longer wobbling. The most terrifying thing is that his whole body is full of evil qi, and the fluctuation between breath and breath seems to follow his rhythm. Dragon dust corpse. Tsai saw the dragon dust on the dragon scale. He was furious and was about to kill him. However, he soon saw Ji Wuming, who owned a dragon corpse in the distance, and suddenly calmed down. Corpse plague looked at the dragon dust and Emon Yen and other people, cold hum a sound, and did not kill, but rushed to a distant Archean dragon corpse. Get out of here if you don't want to die. When the corpse plague broke off, it was like thunder in the air, and the air of violent death gushed. On the corpse of a dragon, There were many strong men occupying it, but when the corpse plague came, they ran away in terror. Although the Eye of Chaos of Archean Dragon Corpse is the place where the air of chaos erupts most intensively and the energy is the most pure, but if the strength is not enough, it is to seek death if it is forcibly occupied. They all saw the horror of corpse plague and did not dare to fight with him. They fled one after another. Corpse plague occupied a dragon corpse without any effort. Strange, why didn't he attack the boss? Guoran was already ready for the battle, but Corpse Kai didn't even try, which made him feel very strange. However, he soon realized that the dragon scale on which the dragon dust was located had an endless holy breath, and it was able to control his evil spirit of corpse. The corpse plague must have thought that it could not get any benefits, so he gave it up temporarily. When he saw Ji Wuming, who absorbed the chi of chaos in the distance, he knew that Ji Wuming could do nothing but dragon dust, so he would not waste that energy. He would first absorb the chi of chaos. Corpse plague occupies an Archean dragon corpse. His wings open, constantly breathing the breath of heaven and earth, and the space constantly collapses. With his breath of chaos, dark and black runes begin to light up around him, just like a demon king, slowly awakening. As time went by, strong men came one after another. Some of them did not have long eyes. As soon as they arrived, they directly dealt with Long Chen. The so-called newborn calves are not afraid of tigers, and not all the strong men are experienced in many battles. There are always some people who have high vision and like to look at people with nostrils. They are not good at their own strength, but they always think that the world is invincible. They like to do things without brains. As a result, these strong men were all picked up by Guoran. Now, as long as Guoran is not against the strong men like Shangji who has no life or corpse, he doesn't need to summon battle armor at all, and can knock down a large area with one blow. However, Guoran also met some hard hands. However, Guoran condensed the crown of heaven, and his control power reached an unprecedented level. It was not difficult to press them to fight, or even fight a group of people alone. Guoran also became smart. He not only wanted to dress up, but also used these strong men to temper himself. He gradually adapted to the soaring power and newly increased ability. He was more and more free to use the power of dragon blood and the crown of heaven. 3 days later, Guoran fought for 3 days. His sword was stained with blood, and his bones were piled up under his feet. The position of Long Chen made so many people envious that he had to fight with all his strength to frighten his opponent with the most ruthless means. However, Guoran was glad that the real strong ones only came to Corpse Plague and Ji Wuming, but Yin Chongxing, Juyo Luosha and others did not come. But even so, there are countless new faces of terror, and even some people's breath is not much worse than Yin Chongxing and others. But these strong men, after seeing the situation in front of them, did not directly attack the dragon dust, nor did they fight for the Archean dragon where the dragon blood army was located. Instead, they choose to fight for other dragon corpses. They are all masters. At a glance, they can see that Long Chen, Emon Yen and others are very difficult to provoke, and finally they do not choose to take risks. But even so, there are still many people who don't have long eyes and stare at the dragon dust. They see the horror of the golden dragon scale, just like a group of annoying mosquitoes. They can't eat the dragon scale, but they want to bite a piece of meat on the dragon scale. Because no one rushed to dragon scale and successfully extracted a trace of dragon blood with his own secret method and treasure. It's not because of how strong they are, but because when dragon dust absorbs the power of dragon blood, its power can't be concentrated, and some of it leaks out. In fact, the trace of dragon blood drawn by these people is the blood essence of dragon dust, but it is this trace of blood essence that has made countless people crazy. The strong man who got the trace of blood essence was a mixed blood dragon. After swallowing the trace of blood essence, his breath suddenly rose dozens of times, which shocked everyone. Although the man was eventually killed by Guoran, his death did not extinguish the greed of these people, but made their eyes red. Because after the death of the man, the remaining part of the real dragon essence blood was obtained by another person. After the man absorbed it, his breath also skyrocketed several times. The strength of the body may be enough to make them crazy, But what really makes them crazy is the holy breath contained in the blood essence. This aura of sacredness is enough to change their lives, even the fate of their entire ethnic group. With this aura of holiness in their bodies, it will bring about great changes to their ethnic fate and future generations. The blood essence of the holy dragon is the supreme treasure for all orc creatures. Although Guaran kills the strong crazily, he still can't stop them. After 3 days and 3 nights of hard work, Guaran was so tired that he could see stars. He was faced with a group of madmen. He killed a lot of them, but could not kill them completely. On the contrary, there were more and more enemies. What made him most angry was that many people rushed to the dragon scale and inhaled the blood essence spilled from the dragon dust. After tasting the sweetness, they became more crazy. Boom boom. Guaran roared and waved his double swords. He tried his best to hunt down these strong men, who also found out Guaran's weakness from the continuous fierce fighting. Guaran was alone, but the dragon scale was tens of thousands of li. They circled with Guaran. Once Guaran showed his flaws, they took the opportunity to steal blood essence, which made him crazy. A group of ignorant idiots, the boss idea, is also you can fight? Guaran roared, but there was no way. Although he knew that the blood essence spilled from Longchen's body was nothing to Longchen, he was already annoyed. What made him most angry was that these people tasted the sweetness, and more people came to him. He was afraid that the corpse and Ji Wuming would kill them later. Tianlei mantra. Just as Guaran was so angry that he was about to vomit blood, a cold drink came. 36 amulets appeared around the dragon scale. When those creatures did not know what was going on, they exploded. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3875, Boom, Boom. The 36 runes were smashed, and the endless lightning runes flickered. Those strong people who were close to the dragon dust did not even have a reaction, and were instantly crushed by the endless thunder runes. If Longchen saw this scene, he would be surprised. There was a terrible power of punishment in these thunder runes. What's more, he compressed the force of natural punishment to the extreme, and then burst out suddenly. The destructive force was astonishing. Only the present Lei Linger could control this kind of terror compression force. Xiachen, Guaran was overjoyed that it was Xia Chen, not someone else. At this time in the summer morning, there is also a divine light behind his head. It is the crown of heaven, and he has succeeded in cohesion. In the morning of summer, the crown of heaven appears behind his head. The whole person seems to be integrated with heaven and earth. The breath of the whole person has changed. He seems to be the master of the rules. He can destroy the heaven and the earth by waving his hand. Suddenly, the void trembles behind Xia Chen, and a killer appears out of thin air. Guaran is shocked. He is an expert in the blood-killing hall. He is the same as Ji Wuming, but also hides his perception. This person's status in the blood-killing hall is absolutely not low. Guarangang wants to remind Xia Chen that Xia Chen doesn't look back and claps his big hand back. A spider web pattern appears in the palm of his hand. As soon as the pattern on his palm lit up, a spider web pattern also appeared on the void. The spider web, 100 zhang in diameter, was standing on the void. The killers in the blood-killing hall suddenly felt bad. They stepped on the void and turned to retreat. The transition was as fast as lightning. They could break their bodies in a moment. They were already masters. They could move forward and retreat freely in this state. They are definitely masters of the masters. Unfortunately, it is useless for him to retreat. The spider web sticks to him at the moment when he retreats. His body pulls the web like a struggling prey. In the summer morning, the spider web pattern on the palm of his hand suddenly spread, and the spider web that trapped the man also spread. However, the spider silk firmly adhered to his arms, legs and head. Puff puff. The master of the blood-killing hall was split up in an instant. After the corpse was divided into several pieces, it exploded and turned into a blood mist all over the sky. Grasps the grass, Guaran is stunned. He and Xiachen are the best partners. They know Xia Chen's methods very well, and Xia Chen can coagulate the talisman empty-handed. This is to break away from the shackles of inscriptions and seal characters. With his own essence, chi and spirit, he condenses the runes to arouse the power of heaven and earth to launch an attack. Xiachen said that this move is the dream of every inscriptionist. He did it today. Integrating heaven and earth and setting a talisman with empty hands, I have actually done it. It is no wonder that the real king of the fairyland is the condensation of the heavenly crown. Summer Morning looks at his palm, face is full of excited color. When Xiachen arrived, those who attacked Longchen were scared away. For the first time, they saw such a terrible rune master. They destroyed the heaven and the earth and killed people in an invisible way. After Xiachen made 2 moves, they were scared to death. Haha, congratulations on Summer Morning. I am the first person in the Dragon Blood Army, and you are the second. Guoran laughed and congratulated the Summer Morning. Although Guoran is Daoshi, he still has a little ostentatious meaning. He is the first person in the Dragon Blood Legion to form the crown of the Heavenly Way. Xiachen is 3 days later than him. He can blow this cow for a lifetime. Xiachen naturally knows that Guoran is showing off with him. He just smiles. At this time, he is completely immersed in the law of heaven and earth, and is in the wonderful feeling of control. Boom! At this time, countless strong people rushed to the dragon dust again. Although Summer Morning came, some of them had tasted the sweetness and still wanted to fish more. In the past, they attacked Guoran's defense in batches. Now, tens of thousands of strong men even shot at the same time, that is, they want to rely on the collective strength to crush them. They also know that they must unite to get benefits. It's stupid to play the sea of people tactics with the Rune Master. They'll see how many lives you have. In Xiachen's sneer, his hands were sealed, and 48 amulets flew out. As soon as the 48 amulets flew out, the sky and the earth roared like 48 thunderbolts at the same time, which made people's ears roar and blood overflowed. Ilgo, when Guoran saw those Fuzhuan, he was startled and recognized them as the Jintian runes that Xiachen regarded as a treasure. Take it easy, don't take it. Guoran screamed with fright. Bang! When the 48 amulets flew out, the sky and the earth roared, causing great movement and stillness. The moment that the 48 amulets and seal characters formed a circle around the dragon scale was detonated by Xiachen. At the same time, the 48 heaven-shaking runes burst out at the same time, and the huge sound resounded through the whole 3,000 world. The 48 ripples appeared, swallowing the space of millions of miles. At that moment, the turbulent flow of space stirred, and all the strong people who rushed to the dragon dust were shocked into powder. Even the dragon scale where the dragon dust was located was also swallowed up by the space turbulence. What Guoran originally called out was, "Take it easy, don't bring the boss in." As a result, the moment the Jintian Fu was broken, all the words that Guoran called behind were swallowed up, and even he couldn't hear a bit of it. Seeing the dragon dust and the dragon scale disappear together, Guoran is so scared that he thinks that Xiachen has killed the dragon dust. However, when the void gradually subsided, the scale of the golden dragon was as stable as a rock, and was not affected by the earth-shaking talisman at all. Guoran was relieved, but he was in a cold sweat. Whoever wants to die, just come here. Summer Morning hands behind the crown of heaven, looking at the distant creatures, cold voice far out, with endless killing gas, moving. This blow, not to mention those living creatures, even Guoran was scared to death. Those who were still ready to play the golden dragon scale idea turned away in fear and were ready to go to other places to make profits. "Brother, you hit me so hard that I almost peed." Guizhen ran, "Can't help but admire all people. Excuse me from the elder brother. I used to have the strongest soul power, but I was lack of energy. So I couldn't resist the reverse power of the way of heaven. I could only concentrate my strength in the seal script, but I didn't dare to use the power of heaven and earth to assist me, for fear of hurting myself. Now I have dragon blood to protect my body. The balance of essence, chi and spirit has finally been achieved. With the blessing of the King of Heaven, the seal script can induce 10 times of the power of the heavenly way to stack together, and the reverse force can be easily tolerated. Ha! I finally lifted my eyebrows and lifted my breath. Summer morning, hey hey, a smile way. Now the summer morning, as if a completely different from before at this time, he finally stepped into the realm of his dreams. Summer morning, do you feel something wrong? All of a sudden, Guoran looked at the distance, and his eyes were full of vigilance. P.S. Wait for me, brothers. You will return to Shanghai on the 5th. The old devil will give you a great climax. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3876. What's wrong? Summer morning asked. Don't you realize that there are fewer people here than we thought? Guoran said. As Guoran said, 3 days later, the whole 3,000 world has been shocked. All the super strong have the ability to cross half of the 3,000 world, but Yin Changxing and Jiuyo Luocha have not appeared. What makes Guoran feel strange is that Long Outyin has not come, and things are a little strange. It is reasonable to say that every corner of the 3,000 world should be aware of such a big movement. It's no surprise that there are many treasure lands in the 3,000 world that are visited by specific inheritors. They all have their own exclusive place of ascension. Even if they feel the movement here, they don't pay attention to it. Those who can come here either have no exclusive land or abandon the original treasure land when they see that there is too much movement here. Now that they have come here, they have lost their original treasure land. Many people have lost their opportunities. Even if they go back, they may not be able to get anything. Besides, running back and forth a few times, once the chaotic gas stops erupting, they will be in vain. This time Summer morning looked at a group of strong, staring at them, want to come but dare not. However, some people who know how to judge the situation and start to rush to other dragon bodies. Although the core area has been occupied, the edge area can still be squeezed. Although the chaos in the periphery is less than 1/10 of that in the core, they have no choice. If they return to the original place, they will have no place to settle down. I see. After listening to Xia Chen's analysis, Guoran nodded and felt that Xia Chen's words were reasonable. After all, there are more than one treasure land in the 3,000 world. Emon Yen had made a great deal of money with them before. In an underground tomb, they searched and scraped all over the basin. At the same time, the atmosphere of chaos in that place was very abundant. The three of them wanted to absorb the chi of chaos in the land of wealth. But seeing the vision caused by the dragon dust, Xia Chen and Guoran feel the call of the dragon dust. The three talents abandoned their original treasure land and came here. If it's someone else, you won't give up your treasure land. After all, no one knows what's going on elsewhere. In addition, sometimes the most important thing is what suits you. Because some treasure lands have different energies. When these treasure lands erupt, many masters will produce induction, and they all have their own goals. No, all of a sudden, Guoran's face changed. In this case, what should these guys do if they gather up the crown of heaven in advance and kill them? Xia Chen said, You're right. We have to arrange in advance. You stay here. I'll arrange the array and protect the boss. Xia Chen spoke, and took out an array of array plates, inlaid in the void. These array plates surrounded the dragon dust, a total of 108 array plates, floating around the dragon scales like stars. Around each array plate, there are 108 pieces of fuzhuan, which are luminous, forming a large array and wrapping the dragon dust. At this time, the dragon dust changed again, and the whole body was more and more full-bodied. The golden spirit, like silk, wrapped him layer by layer. Soon he could only see the golden silk, but could not see the expression of dragon dust. That root of silk, with infinite power, but also exudes a sacred power, heart-shaking, as if a silk, are enough to cut off heaven and earth. Xia Chen and Guoran don't know what Longshan is going through, but they know that Longshan can't be disturbed at this time, otherwise the consequences can't be imagined. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 10 days later, there were more and more gold wires on the dragon dust, and he gradually bound it into a golden cocoon. When the golden cocoon is formed, the breath of the golden dragon scale begins to decline slowly. Its power is pouring into the cocoon crazily. It is obvious that dragon dust has entered a critical moment. Not far from Longchen, an ancient and magnificent palace breaks through the sky, penetrates the heaven and earth, and stands on thousands of roads, showing the sanctity and solemnity. It was not a real palace, but a vision of Emon Yen. He did not occupy the dragon corpse, but absorbed the terrible chaotic air beside the dragon dust. The dragon scale where dragon dust is located is the eye of chaos in the 3,000 worlds, and it is also the place where the air of chaos erupts most. Longchen can't absorb it all by himself. Emon Yen borrows light from the dragon dust. After the dragon dust is absorbed, at least half of it overflows. Emon Yen did not dislike it. He absorbed the remaining chaos of the dragon dust very frugally and collected all of it into the huge palace. The vision of Emon Yen was originally very vague, but with the crazy absorption of the chaos between heaven and earth, the vision gradually became clear, and the lines on the roof, doorpost, and brick wall gradually became clear. As the palace became clear, the plaque above the main gate attracted more attention. The 3 large gold and lacquer characters on it, the Palace of Infinity, seemed to contain endless mystery, as if there was energy flowing inside and something was evolving by itself. However, Emon Yen sits under a pine tree in front of the main hall. It is strange that in normal palaces, few trees are planted in front of the gate, and there are usually statues of gods and beasts guarding both sides. Even if it is planting trees, there is one tree on one side. The tree in front of the gate of Wuliang Palace is planted in front of the main gate of Wuliang Palace, blocking the gate. This is not in line with the aesthetic and geomantic practices, which makes people feel very uncomfortable. This pine tree is the boundless pine in Emon Yang's mouth. It is as high as 10,000 li. In addition to being a little bigger, all the other pines are ordinary. However, the pine tree is covered with strange brilliance, which is very strange and even some evil. It makes Emon Yen look even more obscene. The holy light of Wuliang Palace cannot cover his indecency. The picture is also very uncomfortable. However, as the pictures of the palace become more and more real, the void at the edge of the palace began to collapse slowly, as if the palace had to be revealed from the illusory world, with a great momentum of collapsing and shattering the heaven and earth, which was very amazing. Then look at Xiang Gaiyang, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan. Their qi and blood are soaring to the sky. The whole body is swollen, and their spirit seems to burst. There were numerous cracks in their skin, and the light red liquid slowly overflowed. Under the wound, you can see the golden blood flowing. That was the real dragon essence blood in driving out their original blood essence. This is a thorough exchange of blood. They have reached the most critical moment and are about to complete the exchange of blood. Once the exchange of blood is completed, they will begin to gather the crown of heaven. However, their time-consuming is obviously much longer than Guoran and Xiachen, which also proves that their physical potential is much stronger than the two. Boom! Suddenly, there was a roar in the distance, and a group of creatures burst into the void. When they saw the leading group of people, Xia Chen and Guoran suddenly became nervous and put on a fighting posture. I'm afraid we'll do our best this time. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3877. The coming man's qi and blood soared to the sky, and the spirit behind his head flowed. With a strong pressure of the heavenly way, he was a strong man who condensed the crown of the heavenly way. It is obvious that these strong men have successfully condensed the crown of the heavenly way in other treasure lands. After consuming up the local resources, they rushed to come to fight for more chaotic gas. When they saw the endless chaotic gas gushing here, their eyes turned red, especially when they saw the golden dragon scales surrounded by 18 Archean dragon kings. They felt the endless chaotic gas. Their eyes were filled with endless greed and madness. Kill, there are hundreds of creatures from different races. When they see the huge golden dragon scales, they kill them directly. This group of people was originally very powerful, but now the crown of heaven has been condensed. As the breath soars, people also become conceited. When he saw the golden dragon scale, he gave up the surrounding 18 dragons and killed the dragon dust. If he wanted to rob, he would grab the best one. Now is the most difficult time. The first group of strong people who can unite the crown of the heavenly way have appeared, and there will be more and more such strong people in the future. Look at the boss appearance. We can't get out of the pass for a while. We must be prepared to fight a protracted war. Every bit of strength should be spent on the blade. Don't waste our physical strength. Looking at those who rush to the strong, summer morning reminds way. Don't worry, I won't waste my energy just to pretend to be forced. Guoran laughs, but he's a little embarrassed. If it wasn't for Xia Chen's warning, he would have a gorgeous costume performance. Up, I saw those strong men with the crown of heaven's way rushing to me. In the summer morning, the runes flowed on both hands, and the figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he had already arrived in front of a tall creature and patted the creature with one hand. Those who block me will die. When the creature saw Xia Chen, he didn't pay any attention to this man who looked like a weak scholar at all. As soon as he punched out, he was a golden light. Unexpectedly, he was a master of Jin Jili. Boom! Xia Chen's palm was slapped on his fist. On Xia Chen's arm, the golden dragon scales lit up. On each dragon scale, a golden symbol appeared. After a loud noise, the big man was beaten to pieces by Xia Chen, just like a broken golden statue, falling from the void. How dare you speak out with such poor control? Xia Chen sneered and killed the strong one with a sneer. He said in a cold voice, "Those who are close to the golden dragon scale will be killed without mercy." After killing the living creature in summer morning, his body suddenly disappeared. When he appeared again, another strong man was beaten by his fist. The speed of summer morning is as fast as ghosts, and there is no trace of it. Every time a strike is sent out, a strong man must be killed. In an instant, 7 powerful creatures have been killed. You know, all these creatures are the horrible existence of the king's crown of heaven. In summer morning, one moves one, and there is no one. Good fellow, this is to be invincible. Guoran, holding a sword, killed 2 powerful creatures in succession. Seeing Xia Chen's clean and neat skills, he was shocked. At this time, Xia Chen took the dragon scale of the whole body as the carrier, used its own essence, qi and spirit as the guide, and blood as the ink to directly depict the seal characters on the dragon scales. As long as he can control the seal script, he can freely depict it on the dragon scale. Before the war with the master of the power of gold, he used the power of gold seal on his arm to break the solid with the support of dragon blood. Now, he is not afraid of close combat and kills each other. In the latter part, 6 powerful living creatures were killed successively. Xia Chen's heart moved with his mind, and the source of Fuss heart was born. Each time, he switched to a different rune, and he chose to restrain the other's seal script to bless himself. These strong men did not even have the chance to resist and were killed by Xia Chen. Death. With a roar, Guoran put away his long knife, smashed it with one blow, and burst into the void. A dozen strong men besieged him in front of him were beaten by his fist, and Guoran used the strength of his supreme arm. All said, "Save your energy. In a moment, there may be a more terrifying strong man coming. Don't ruin the event." Summer morning anger way. Guoran suddenly had a red face. He saw Xia Chen so horrible. He felt a little unconvinced. He also wanted to burst out, but he forgot the instructions before Xia Chen. "I want to frighten them with my strength, and let them go to other places. Otherwise, one person will kill one person, and the 2 of us will be tired to death." Guoran preached to Xia Chen that although he was debating, what he said was reasonable. Because after the attack, the countless creatures who rushed up were scared back to the back by Guoran. The momentum of the charge was interrupted, and their minds were also sober. There are so many precious places around you. If you don't go, you want to come and die. Why should you come here? Guoran scared them off with a blow, shook his head and made a gesture of compassion. When Guoran was reminded, these people just looked at other dragons. They suddenly became hesitant. It was obvious that the terrorist strength of Guoran and Xia Chen frightened them. No matter how good the treasure is, you must have a life to enjoy it. Although there are hundreds of them, it seems that even if they work together, they may not be able to kill them. If they are not broken one by one, they will be killed. Although they come from the same place, they are not from the same force. They are not of the same force. They do not know how to cooperate with each other. Even if they come together, they will not have much advantage. We don't want to put off his plan. He is delaying time. If we continue to wait, other strong people will come, and the benefits may not be ours. A demon creature exclaimed, obviously, he is a little clever. How to slow down? It's funny. Since you're so smart and you see that I'm trying to slow down, you can just kill me. But do you want to encourage others to take advantage of yourself? Come on, let's go. As long as you take the lead, they will believe what you say. Guaran disdains tunnel. When Guaran said this, those creatures all looked at the powerful demon, who was shocked and angry, but could not refute it. If he takes the lead, Xia Chen and Guaran must kill him at the first time to destroy their spirit. Let alone the joint efforts of the two people, even if it is any one person, it is enough to kill him easily. Sinister Terrans, I see how long you can last, and I'll deal with you later. The demon creature didn't dare to be a bird. He snorted and rushed to the body of a dragon in the distance, because he felt that the strong people in that place were the least, and they could get benefits. The powerful one of the demons left, and the other strong ones also searched for their targets. Although they have gathered together the heavenly crown can grow. The more chaotic chi it absorbs, the stronger its ability will become. Just after the elimination of a crisis, the two men have not yet been able to breathe, and the surrounding world roars. Countless strong men rush in from all directions. Xia Chen and Guaran look dignified again. This time, the number of enemies is 10 times more than that of the previous wave. One punch will save you 100 fists. It seems that you can change your routine. You are in front of me and behind me. Xia Chen takes a deep breath, and the runes on the dragon scales circulate all over his body. He and Guaran look at each other. Both of them nod and kill these horrible creatures on their own initiative. In Xia Chen's hands, the 99 runes and seal characters in his hands actually formed a lotus flower. The runes on the dragon scales of his whole body were flaming, like hundreds of rivers converging into the sea and rushing to the lotus. The lotus was ignited in an instant, releasing the breath of destroying the heaven and the earth. Try the eldest's unique skill, exterminate the fire lotus. Summer morning a break drink, the hands of the flame lotus blooming, blink of an eye, toward the creatures in front of them thrust past. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3878 The flame lotus formed by the 99 amulets and seal characters broke up in the crowd, surging a fire wave of thousands of miles and swallowing the void. Those strong people who rushed to resist, but still some people were blown to pieces on the spot, most of the strong were shocked to blood, flying around. It's a pity that I'm not Huaxiu. I can't practice the great Brahma Sutra of the eldest brother. Otherwise, the power of the fire lotus can be increased by 100 times, which is enough to destroy all of them. Compared with the elder brother, this attack is far from good. Looking at the flames flying all over the sky, Summer Morning can't help but sigh. Now he has formed the crown of heaven and the blessing of dragon blood. In the state of dragon blood fighting, he can depict the seal characters on the dragon scales and display any skills he wants. As long as the seal characters he can depict can be used in his own hands, instead of relying solely on the seal characters. However, some things can only be imitated, but cannot be proficient. He imitates the fire lotus of dragon dust, only its shape, but not its spirit. He did not have his own flame, nor could he operate the great Brahma Sutra. Although his seal script could attract the power of fire in the heaven and earth, the effect was far from the great Brahman Sutra. The effect of 36 seal characters was detonated, but the effect was not as good as he thought. This attack made him realize his weakness. He was a rune master. Although he could fight at will with the blessing of the heavenly crown and dragon blood, he still had to start with the most basic runes, which belonged to him. The first move to open the sky, just after releasing the fire lotus in Summer Morning, Guaran cut down with a knife. The huge shadow of the sword tore the void, and saw the moon of tens of thousands of miles flying across the sky. Boom! Even though they resisted with all their might, they were still chopped to pieces with their weapons and people. In the midst of blood mist gushing, countless powerful creatures flew with swords. "If you don't fear death, just come here." Guaran waved his long sword, and with the power of a knife, he yelled in a loud voice. He wanted to use the murderous spirit of this sword to scare off the enemy. But this time there were thousands of people. Although his knife was powerful, it did not completely stop the impact of these people. What worried Guaran and Xiachen most was that the surrounding void roared, and from time to time strong men flew in, just like vultures smelling rotten meat, flocked in and more. "Just 2 people want to stop us. It's a big joke. Let's kill him and divide up the strongest dragon scale. We should do it quickly, otherwise those super strong ones will give us no chance. Courage is the output. It depends on who is lucky and can eat meat." A demon beast with blood and blood roared, and the first one rushed over. He was a very terrible strong man. His whole body was full of blood and rose like a flame. His back wings spread the heaven and earth and tore the sky. Countless strong people around him were shocked by his waves. "If you want to die, he'll help you." Guaran was very angry, and the more he was afraid of anything, the more he was afraid of, the other creatures immediately became red and killed him. The golden dragon scale, for anyone, had a fatal temptation. Bang! Guaran slashed the big sword in his hand, and his chi and blood broke out with all his strength. A knife was cut on the weapon of the powerful monster, sending out a shocking explosion. Poof! The monster's strong man gushed blood, his body was cracked by shock, and he was almost shattered by Guaran's knife. A look of fear appeared in his eyes, and he finally realized Guaran's terror. However, Guaran's heart was awe-inspiring, and he secretly cried out that the monster was too strong to be killed with a single blow, which would encourage the spirit of these creatures. As expected, although the monster was shocked with blood and was seriously injured, he did not die, which gave other creatures endless confidence. After all, they were numerous, and thousands of strong people killed them crazily. Looking for death, Guaran and Xiachen were frightened and angry. There were too many people who rushed to Longchen from all directions, and they could not stop them. Puff, puff. 2 people were angry, big moves, 1 move, a breath cut dozens of creatures, but cannot stop these people. Someone was close to the dragon scale and was about to rush past. Suddenly, the void trembled and a rune of light curtain appeared. Boom! The man bumped into the light curtain, and without even humming, he was shocked into a blood mist by the light curtain, and he triggered the big array under the summer morning cloth. Boom boom. Seeing the appearance of the large array, many creatures were not believing in evil. They directly held weapons and smashed them at the array. As a result, the moment their weapons touched the array, the violent force was introduced into their bodies, and they were smashed one by one. At this time, these creatures finally wake up from the temptation of the dragon scale, no longer blindly impact, and at this time, Xiachen and Guaran are killing these creatures crazily. Although these creatures are fierce, they all form the crown of heaven, but they fight alone, and no one is his opponent. In an instant they killed dozens of people. However, these creatures seem to be crazy. They know the danger clearly, but they don't retreat. They are afraid that once they retreat, the dragon scales will be taken away by others. The strong are always crazy when they face the opportunity to become stronger. Don't attack the large array directly. If you use up the strength of the large array, you can break it. A strong man of the race called out, "You traitor!" Xiachen and Guaran are very angry. They have already killed this group of people. However, some people come out to make trouble, and the troublemakers are their own race. This kind of anger is beyond description. "Death!" Guaran roared, and his wings stirred up behind him. The man was like a meteor, rushing towards the man. "You want to kill me?" Dream, the man sneered, and a jade rune appeared in his hand, which he crushed. However, at the moment of crushing the jade talisman, his smile on his face froze, and his transmission symbol failed. In the void around him, a transparent seal script appeared. It was these characters that made his transmission power isolated. Death, Xiaqin discards that man's teleportation symbol, and Guoran cuts it off with a knife. The man screams in horror and tries to resist, but still can't change his fate of being killed. Boom boom. Although the man died, but in his reminder, countless living creatures inspired a variety of divine lights, falling on the big array. The battle array trembled and countless runes flowed. While resisting these attacks, the runes also quickly faded. These are the strong ones in the King's Crown of Heaven. The durability of the array in summer morning is declining rapidly. Xiaqin and Guoran are both anxious and angry. They can't kill so many people in a short time. Once they break through the array and interfere with Longchen, they will be in trouble. All the people in the Dragon Blood Army are good at attacking and not good at defending. They have a lot of strength, but they have no use. They are going to be crazy. Boom, the big array can't resist the attack of thousands of strong men, and it bursts into pieces in an instant. At the moment of the big array's explosion, endless dragon chi explodes and feels the impact of the dragon's chi. These strong men become more crazy in an instant, like starving wolves, rushing to the dragon dust, and the scene is out of control in an instant. Boom! Just as these people were about to get close to the dragon scale, they fell from the sky one by one, tearing the magic soldiers into the void and killing them in the most direct and fierce way. The Dragon Blood Army is here. If you want to die, please let your horse come here. A group of heroic and warm-blooded voices resound through the world. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3879 One by one. The soldiers with the crown of heaven and the golden dragon armor were like sharp blades coming out of their scabbard and killed with the blood of the avalanche weather. At that moment, the heaven and earth were changed because of their terror and killing intention. Poof! A creature who was just about to get close to the golden dragon scale was suddenly split into two pieces by a dragon blood warrior with one sword, and the blood was blue in the sky. Kill! He looked up to the sky and roared, as if he had returned to Tianwu land and fought with Long Chen in all directions. The dragon blood warrior returned, and his long silent blood was ignited again. The war spirit hidden in their hearts erupts like a volcano. Their desire for blood and killing is spreading rapidly. They live for war. Only in the battle can they find the true meaning of life and find their true self. Every one of them is a well-trained soldier, but after flying to the fairyland, they are as if they were contaminated with dust and their glory was buried. It was not easy for them to leave Longchen. Everyone experienced countless pains and struggled to survive at the bottom of the cultivation world. Flying up to the fairyland, they seemed to have been beaten back to their original form, as if they were back before meeting the dragon dust. Their life was crowded, tortured, trampled, bumpy and thorny. At the beginning, the glory that dragon dust gave them can no longer be seen. Their talent and qualification are the most common in the fairyland. But the one thing Longchen taught them, they always remember, is the most basic quality of the strong, the determination to become stronger. No matter when they are, they will try their best to make themselves stronger. If they have no resources or talents, they will try their best to create. They will never wait passively. They will not make excuses for laziness. They will not yield to the cruel reality, nor will they abandon them because of despair. In order to reunite with the Dragon Blood Army, they practiced hard day and night, and did not dare to have a slightest slack. Even though their talents were ordinary, they still traded blood for their own status. Instead of crushing them down, endless pain and tribulation make them stronger and sharper. They are like giant dragons trapped in diving, working hard in secret and waiting for opportunities. Now, they finally wait for the opportunity. The rust on the blade peels off, and the magic soldiers finally show their sharpest light. After years of polishing, they have been transformed in spirit. Now, with the blessing of dragon blood and the heavenly king's crown, they control the power that they can't even imagine. Kill! The dragon blood soldiers raised their heads to the sky and roared together. The stars in the sky swayed because of their fighting spirit, which was a roar that made the gods and demons feel uneasy. Puff, puff, puff. Dragon blood soldiers killed. Those who rushed to the creatures, like sheep into a group of tigers, were instantly torn into pieces, pieces of body. There are weapons. All the broken weapons belong to these dragon blood soldiers. The dragon blood soldiers are very down and down. The weapons in their hands are not good goods. They can't compete with the weapons in the hands of elite strong men. However, when their weapons are broken, they still have dragon blood battle body and dragon scale protection body. They have the strongest armor. They fight against the divine soldiers with their bare hands and smash their weapons directly. The feeling of killing the enemy by violence made the dragon blood soldiers boil with blood. The feeling of invincibility once again returned to the Numenum. The dragon blood soldiers are unarmed, but no one can take their move. The fierce power makes Guoran and Xiachen surprised and elated. The dragon blood army will finally return again. After the return, the dragon blood army will no longer be the first army of Tianwu, but the first army of 9 days. One after another dragon blood soldiers, galloping from afar, all of them wake up from the closing of the gate, and they all gather together the heavenly king's crown and dragon blood battle body, and join the battle group. 100, 200, 300 as more and more dragon blood soldiers joined in, the impact of those living creatures was stopped, and they were stopped by dragon blood soldiers less than 100 li away from the golden dragon scale. There are more and more dragon blood soldiers, and the creatures who come from the wind are gathering more and more widely. They come in waves and waves. It is obvious that they intend to come here again after one treasure land has consumed up resources. There are all kinds of creatures of any race. Some have only a few hundred people in one wave, while others have tens of thousands. When these creatures saw the dragon, they immediately rushed to seize the position and absorb the chi of chaos. But when they saw the golden dragon scale where the dragon dust was located and the chaotic air rising from the sky, they suddenly became crazy and rushed towards this side like the tide. Build a defense array. In the summer morning, he stopped drinking and commanded the people to form a battle. These creatures were just crazy and rushed forward. It seemed that they would rather die than bite a piece of dragon dust. Boss he. Xia Chen and Guoran noticed that the dragon scale on which Longchen sat had begun to shrink sharply. It had already shrunk to about 10 feet in diameter. At the same time, the dragon scale began to bend upward and slowly wrapped up the dragon dust. Finally, it formed an egg shape. The egg is translucent. You can see that there are countless silk-like golden tubes inside. These tubes extend into the body of dragon dust, and the flesh of dragon dust becomes translucent. You can see that a rune on the dragon scale is slowly broken into countless small pieces of runes, pouring into the body of dragon dust. Seeing the rune fragment, Xia Chen's heart pounded. This must be the magic rune of the dragon scale master. If the elder brother absorbs it, he can control the master's magic power. At the same time, Xia Chen finally understood why these creatures were so crazy. If the eggshells of dragon dust were broken, those runes would become ownerless and could be contested at will. If they don't know, how can they change their lives? There are 8 runes on the gold eggshell. Now dragon dust is absorbing the first one, but the speed of absorption is very slow. It is because of this that these creatures are red in their eyes. Trouble. If it goes on like this, there will be more and more enemies. Guoran, looking at tens of thousands of strong men, is frantically attacking the blockade of dragon blood soldiers. Although the dragon blood soldiers are defending firmly now, they are still worrying. As time goes on, more and more people will come, and they will become stronger and stronger. In addition, many people in the surrounding crowd are keeping a wait-and-see state. Among them, there are many terrorist strongmen hidden among them. Obviously, they are waiting for an opportunity. Once the dragon blood army fails to resist, they will immediately take action. What worries them most is that Ji Wuming, Shi Zhao and Wang Tianao are in the distance, their hands are imprinted, and the Tiandao crown in the back of their head has gradually taken shape, and they may succeed at any time. Boom! Suddenly, the void in the distance was distorted in a large area, and the figure of a middle-aged man appeared. He came with hundreds of thousands of strong men behind him in a murderous manner. When they saw the middle-aged man, Xia Chen and Guoran's faces suddenly changed, Master of Silver Moon City. P.S. The old devil has just returned to Shanghai and will resume normal updating tomorrow and start to add more changes. Thank you for your tolerance and understanding of the old devil. There is nothing to repay but to code the words. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3880. The owner of Inue City, dressed in a long robe and a gold crown, rushed with hundreds of thousands of strong men. He saw the dragon dust wrapped in the eggshell at a glance, and his face showed a grim smile. It's a narrow family, ignorant child. You will pay for your ignorance eventually. Even if you see the treasure, you can only give it to others in the end. The master of Silver Moon City was in a flash, and the void was shaking. People were like a meteor, rushing to the dragon dust. Old man, if you want to move me, boss, pass me first. Guoran held 2 knives in front of the Silver Moon City lord. The mantis can't do anything about it. Silver Moon City master sneers, big hands open, a silver sword appears, the sword trembles, silver god light pour out, spread thousands of miles of brilliance, cut down quickly. As soon as he took out the sword, the vision behind him was opened. The silver crescent was like a hook. Silver should have been holy glory, but here, it was full of evil. Bang! Guoran's double swords made the master of Inue City a sword. With a bang, the silver spirit and golden chi and blood interweaved between heaven and earth. The master's body shook slightly and his face showed a touch of shock. However, Guoran was rocked hundreds of miles by his sword, and the void behind Guoran was rippled. It was obvious that he had suffered a terrible force. But let Silver Moon City main shock is, Guoran just was shaken chi and blood. A burst of confusion, did not get hurt. However, Guoran was extremely uncomfortable. His whole body was full of chi and blood. At that moment he could not concentrate his strength together. In such a state he was very dangerous. He must be adjusted as soon as possible. The attack of the city lord Inue was too terrible. It's interesting that such a weak person can control 1,000 times more powerful than himself. However, even so, it is still a mantis arm in a chariot, and there is no way to die. Inue City main cold tunnel. Arrogant fart, you are a god of high status, 2 levels higher than me, and you have lived tens of thousands of years longer than me, and you have the face to speak out? Your skin is much thicker than the walls of your Silver Moon City. Guoran retorted. Guoran was surprised and angry in his heart. The power of dragon blood in his body was as vast as the sea. He could swallow the sky, but he was not good at hand-to-hand combat. All his fighting methods rely on his armor. However, due to the soaring power of his blood, the runes that he once made can't match his current strength. As a result, the power of battle armor cannot be exerted. Armor is like a pair of shoes that fit well. Now his feet are too big, and the armor can't keep up with his needs. A new rune must be inlaid in order to give full play to the power of the two. Today's Guoran is equal to barefoot running. If it is someone else, maybe it doesn't matter, but Guoran is used to wearing shoes, in this state, very uncomfortable. If Guoran was given a period of time to replace the rune of battle armor with a stronger one, how could he care about the lord of Inue City in front of him? What made him most angry was that the master of Inue City, who had lived for endless years, even put on a posture of dominating over all living beings, which made Guoran very angry. Guoran's words made the master of Inue City angry. Guoran was right. As the master of Inue City, he had lived for endless years. His cultivation has improved Guoran's 2 great realms. He is not qualified to ridicule Guoran. If he is at the same level, he is not Guoran's opponent at all. Die for the sake of words. Silver Moon City Master Cold Drink, step out, like a silver lightning rush to Guoran. Do not give Guoran a chance to breathe. To take advantage of his blood has not recovered to kill him. Bang! However, just as his silver sword was about to be cut in front of Guoran, a large rune shield blocked his face. A sword fell, and the rune shield burst into pieces. In front of him, there was a man full of scholarly spirit. It was Xia Qin who arrived. At the critical moment, he blocked the attack of the Lord of Inue City. The sword of the Lord of Inua City was cut off, and the big shield burst into pieces. The silver brilliance covered the space of millions of miles. The gorgeous brilliance lit up the sky and was extremely beautiful. The pupil of the master of Silver Moon City shrinks slightly, and Xia Chen's attack leads his strength into the void. He does not bear any strength. Even though he has lived for endless years, he is the only one in his life. At this moment, he had to put aside his contempt. Neither Guoran nor Xia Chen could give him a sense of threat, but both of them could easily block his attack, which made him wary. You go and kill that dragon dust. The master of Inua City waved his sword and gave orders to the people behind him. Hundreds of thousands of strong people in Inua City suddenly killed Longchen like a tide. Among them, there are two gods who have a strong respect for the territory. They are the deputy city lord of Inua City and their right arms. Their strength is second only to him. The two men came out of the crowd, with two kinds of runes overlapped on their bodies, and strange sounds came out between them, just like the roar of ancient giant beasts. Xia Chen and Guoran were shocked. They were the bipolar supreme with the supreme blood and the supreme bone at the same time. The bipolar supreme of the divine realm gave their full strength. If the deputy is bipolar supreme, then the master of Inua City must also be bipolar supreme, and he is still a stronger bipolar supreme. In other words, the current master of Inua City has no use at all. For a time, Xia Chen and Guoran were flustered. If they dealt with the two bipolar supremacy, the terrible master of Silver Moon City would not be stopped. Boom! Just when the two of them did not know what to do, suddenly two figures appeared, blocking the way of the two bipolar supremacy. They were Li Qi and Song Mingyuan. At the critical moment, the two men woke up at the same time and killed them. They stopped drinking at the same time. The power of the earth is possessed by evil spirits. With their shouting and drinking, a huge beast emerged behind them. As soon as the giant beast appeared, it was fierce and fierce. It roared like a bloodthirsty beast staring at its prey. Two people have a long stick in their hands, on which runes are densely distributed. When the long stick appears, the evil spirit shadow behind them is inhaled by the long stick. When the long stick absorbs the two virtual shadows, all the runes on the long stick light up and smash at the two bipolar and powerful people. The two bipolar supremacy were shocked. For a moment, they seemed to be locked by the god of death. Their scalp was shocked and numb. They roared at the same time and launched weapons to resist them. Boom! Two explosions, two bipolar supremacy, weapons in their hands broke, people were smashed like meteors, even Li Qi and Song Mingyuan could not catch a blow. The power of thick soil? Silver Moon City Master's face changed, and his two deputies were so shocked that they had already been injured and their spirit was greatly discharged. Under the circulation of Silver Moon behind the master of Silver Moon City, two different runes appear in his vision. When the two kinds of vision runes appear, his breath suddenly rises, and the violent breath gushes, and the world trembles. His breath is several times stronger than the two bipolar supremacies just now. Give me another shot. The master of Inua City snorted coldly and cut off the silver sword in his hand. This sword was different from before. It was condensed to the extreme. A thin crack was cut out in the void, just like a sharp blade cutting through a piece of paper. At that moment, Xia Chen's face changed. This blow was powerless and could only be blocked. When a spear appears out of thin air, blocking the sword with high concentration of power, the violent force makes the void disillusioned, as if to be broken. In the endless circulation of runes, a tall figure, holding a long gun, blocked in front of Xia Chen and Guoran. His bald head reflects the runes scattered in the sky, and his body is more like a beast in the floodland. Pei, the lord of Inua City, cannot shake his tall figure with an unstoppable blow. His eyes, like the eyes of a hunter, stare at the prey. Gu Yang, head of the first army of the Dragon Blood Army, comes to ask you for some advice. www. Ninefold. Com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3881. As soon as Gu Yang appeared, his chi and blood soared to the sky. His dragon scales and armor were different. They were also gold scales, but different runes appeared on each gold scale. Each rune is like an erupting volcano, with violent power and high-speed gushing. It seems that his power is endless. Even the master of Inoue City is surprised by the breath. Gu Yang blocked the city master of Inoue with a single shot, just like a high mountain blocking the direction of the river. Even if the master of Inoue City was towering, he was also shocked by Guiyang's momentum. Click, click. Guiyang's spear is carrying the silver sword of the city master of Inoue. The two magic soldiers are attached with endless power. The places where the magic soldiers meet, the sparks splash, and the ripples spread from the contact place, and the myriad roads are pressed to roar ceaselessly. At that moment, even Guoran and Xiachen were stunned. Gu Yang became so terrible that he blocked the master of Inoue City with a long gun in one hand. It seems that Guiyang has his own adventure during this period of time. Summer Morning can't help but exclaim. In the Dragon Blood Army, Gu Yang has always won by strength. In the Dragon Blood Army, in addition to Long Chen and Numen, his strength is the strongest. Now after the baptism of dragon blood and the blessing of the crown of heaven, his dragon blood fighting body is far better than others. Brother, neither of you is fit to fight alone. Give me this man. The Dragon Blood Army is reunited. You have more important things to do. Gu Yang looked back and looked at them with a smile on their faces and moved and warm in their eyes. When people meet again, it seems as if they are separated from each other, and there are thousands of words to say. Unfortunately, it is not the time to have a good drink at this time. All the emotions are gathered in the eyes. Boss Guiyang is powerful. He'll leave it to you. Guoran laughs and gives a thumbs up to Guiyang. Brothers don't need too much words. A look is enough. He and Xiachen, one is the commander-in-chief of the Dragon Blood Army, and the other is the array mage of the Dragon Blood Army. Their greatest ability is to integrate the strength of the Dragon Blood Army, so that the Dragon Blood Army can play a more powerful role. They are really not good at fighting alone with others. Gu Yangyi reminds them that the two people directly return to the Dragon Blood Army array. What they need to do now is to reintegrate the Dragon Blood Army, so that the Dragon Blood Army can be reorganized as soon as possible, and the strength of all people can be condensed into a rope. Do you want to stop the city lord? Dream, the master of Silver Moon City, was very angry. He didn't pay attention to him. The sword trembled in his hand. Boom! With a bang, the two of them stepped back several steps at the same time. No, I'm not trying to stop you, but to kill you. Over the past year, I've experienced the test of blood and fire, and I've suffered a lot that ordinary people can't imagine, just to one day make my own strength worthy of the identity of the first army leader of the Dragon Blood Army. The boss said that many times. We try our best, but we can't see the effect, but don't be discouraged. It's because the time has not come. But if you wait for an opportunity and don't improve yourself, even if the opportunity comes, you will not be able to seize it, you can only see it missed in vain. For more than a year, I have been practicing hard day and night. Even my master can't bear to watch me practice. I think I'm crazy several times. But I firmly believe that the boss will always be right and all my efforts will be rewarded. Today, I finally seize this opportunity to complete the transformation, and you will be the stepping stone for the strong return of the head of the first army of the Dragon Blood Army. Gu Yang looks at the master of Inoue City. There are golden runes in his eyes. They are actually two golden dragon patterns. Do you think you can delay time by saying all the crazy things you can't understand? Childish, the master of Inoue City, didn't understand what Gu Yang was talking about. He snorted coldly. In the vision behind him, two kinds of runes interweave together, forming a chain of order and hanging on the silver moon. When the chain is hung on the silver moon, the two forces converge like two Yangtze rivers. The silver crescent blossoms with dazzling brilliance, and the breath of the city master of Inoue begins to rise slowly like the tide. Although the promotion speed is not fast, the momentum is continuous, and the imitation of Buddha is endless. Let's go all out and don't give them any chance to break the golden egg. Silver Moon City Master, a break drink. Take the lead, silver sword to Valley Yang in the sky. It's you who are naive. I have experienced the test of blood and fire. In the Wanlong grottos, I bear the pain of Wanlong and temper my soul. In the Wanlong pool, I suffered from the pain of the dragon, tempered my body, and swam on the edge of death several times. What I lack is an opportunity to become stronger. Now that I succeed, I have not only integrated the essence of the ancient dragon, but also his spirit and his immortal will. Today, I have a strong return to Guyong, and you are the first battle of my return. If I don't kill you, how can I have the face to be the head of the first army of the Dragon Blood Army? What qualifications do you have to follow? My boss Gu Yang's voice is getting louder and louder. When it comes to the last few words, his voice is like the roar of a dragon and a tiger. It rings through the 9 days. It makes countless people's ears roar, and their heads are dim and their minds seem to be splitting. Brothers, my Guyong has come back, and I will never let you down again. The history of Tianwu will never happen again. My Guyong is finally able to protect you from the wind and rain. Gu Yang roared up to the sky, with endless anger in his voice, and even more with the idea of killing heaven. He recalled the disastrous defeat of Tianwu land at the beginning. Watching Chu Jianying, the old man, Ling Yunzi and other elders die one by one, and watching the brothers sacrifice one by one, the picture is gnawing at his heart like a poisonous snake. Therefore, for more than a year, he has been practicing in the way of self-abuse. Only by making himself miserable can he feel a little peace of mind. It is useless for him to hate himself. At the beginning, he does not want to experience that feeling of powerlessness. Therefore, he is trying to force himself to become stronger all the time. Now, his inner anger finally has a place to vent. 10,000 dragons roaring in the sky and earth. With his roar, the visions behind him were opened up, and giant dragons emerged one by one, and a picture of 10,000 dragons appeared, in which all the dragons roared together, and the loud sound of dragon chanting pierced through the clouds and rocks, radiated the universe and resounded from every corner of the world. Gu Yang's dragon scales kept shaking. On each dragon scale, there was a rune surging rapidly. If you look carefully, the pattern is clearly dragon after dragon. Boom! The spear in Gu Yang's hand was raised, and the heaven and earth trembled. With one shot, all the dragons roared and the spear shadow was 10,000 li. Like a spear from hell, he went straight to the main spike of Silver Moon City. Go, he was locked in by this terrible shot. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3882. At this time, Gu Yang is like a dragon fighting with blood. In the picture of 10,000 dragons behind, the dragon roars and kills the sky. A gun mercilessly stabs down. The fierce force locks the master of Inue City, so that he can only block it and can't avoid it. The cultivation of the Lord of Inue is 2 levels higher than that of Guyong. Both spiritual strength and soul power are much more powerful than Guyong. In this case, it cannot be locked. However, Gu Yang's qi and blood soared to the sky. He squeezed the heaven and earth with the force of qi and blood, and locked in the master of Inue City in the most brutal and unreasonable way. An ignorant child dares to speak out. The Lord of Inue City was frightened and angry. He fought all his life, defeated countless strong men and killed countless living creatures. He was despised by a younger generation for the first time in his life. In the face of Gu Yang's attack, his long sword was covered with silver, and his sword was cut down with one sword. He broke through the strong with hardness, and was simple and crude. The squinting eyes face beer, the surging power of the heaven and the earth has become the rage of the sky. What terrible physical power! A creature screamed in horror. It was the strong one of the dragon elephant clan. Its physical strength was extremely terrible. But when he saw the power of Guyong, he could not help but look shocked. Gu Yang and the master of Inue City collide with each other, and they flash at the same time. With this attack, they fight for a half a dozen, and no one can take advantage of it. The silver sword of the master of Inue City shakes and throws out a mysterious sword flower. The sword is like a snake. With a very tricky angle, it stabs the weak side of Guyong. The move is strange, cruel, and spicy. However, Gu Yang turned a blind eye to the sword of the city lord Inoue. With the force of the anti-shock just now, Gu Yang made a big whirl and went straight to the head of the city lord Inoue. The master of Inoue City is frightened and angry. Gu Yang is not fighting. He wants to die with him. Although his long sword can attack Guiyang first, Gu Yang's long spear will immediately pierce his body. Before Gu Yang dies, he will pull up his back. Gu Yang's spear is attached with endless power. If it is stabbed into the body, the force will explode. Even a strong person of Inoue City Master's level cannot say that he can withstand such a terrible attack. If he can't make it right, he will be stabbed to pieces. The main sword of Inoue City whirled around and changed the stab to pick. The sword tip was picked 2/3 in front of the spear, which was the most difficult place to master. Boom! With a bang, the silver sword of the city lord of Inoue was bent up in a moment. His whole body was shocked, and he snorted and flew out. The master of Inoue City underestimated the power of Gu Yang's attack. He wanted to release the power of Gu Yang's shot with clever force and wait for an opportunity to fight back. Because of the change of attack to defense, he suffered losses and needed to break through his clumsiness with skill. However, Gu Yang's strength was too solid. When he was attracted by him, he did not leak out. Instead, he invaded his body along his long sword, which made his qi and blood boil and almost burst out of blood. At the same time, he also felt a moment of fear. Just now, he flashed the idea that he would fight to get hurt, use his lifelong strength to block the blow of Guiyang and kill him with one sword. If he does, Guiyang will die. Undoubtedly, such a solid strength is enough to destroy his body and Yuan God together. If you are so afraid of death, you will die today. You can't believe yourself. No one can save you. Gu Yang sneers, holding a spear, stepping into the void, crossing the void, a gun to the main thorn of Silver Moon City. The master of Inoue City was furious. Gu Yang's words pierced his heart like a poisonous arrow. This criticism made him feel a great shame. Ignorant fool, grandfather ate more salt than you ate rice. What are you, and dare to teach him a lesson? When the master of Inoue City was in a rage, his sword was waving like a silver snake, which made 1,000 sword shadows and killed Guiyang. Boom boom. Gu Yang's spear stabbed with a long spear, and his moves were offensive, but he did not defend one move. The two men fought fiercely. The air waves were surging, and the sky was cracked and the ground was sunk. They were hard to separate. The golden qi and blood collide with the silver light, which makes the laws of heaven creak, as if they can't bear their power and burst. This is a world-shaking war. Countless people are shocked to see this scene and their mouths are wide open. The fairy king is against the god, and he is also a bipolar supreme-level god superior. This is too strong. Poof! Just when people were attracted by the battle between the city lords of Guiyang and Inoue, there was a sudden explosion. The blood mist filled the sky and invaded the void. People turned to look at it and could not help but look at it with horror. They just saw that an old man was beaten by Li Qi with a stick. The old man was no one else, but one of the vice city lords of Silver Moon City. The deputy city lord's body was smashed, and the spirit escaped. His face was frightened. He never dreamed that he would meet such a terrible young man here. He took 3 moves in total, and the third move was unbearable. Lord, save me! The deputy city lord yelled in horror, but he did not know that the city lord he was in awe of was now inseparable from Gu Yang and could not take him into account. The evil spirit devours the soul. A blow smashes the body of the city lord. Instead of attacking again, Li Qi puts away his long stick and seals his hands. The shadow of the evil spirit behind him suddenly opens his mouth. The fierce face is ferocious, just like a devil. When the big mouth opens, the fangs stand up and form a ferocious gate. The deputy city lord who lost his body was fleeing. Suddenly, a violent attraction came upon him. His original spirit galloped forward, but the space was rapidly regressing. His original god slowly leaned towards the ferocious mouth. He ran as fast as he could, but his body was getting closer and closer to the ferocious mouth. At that moment, he was desperate. No. However, as he struggled, he was finally sucked into the ferocious mouth. Boom! When the mouth closed, people saw his original spirit broken and swallowed by the evil spirit. Creak, creak. That fierce mouth wriggles, seems to be chewing, like crocodile eyes. There is a little bit of divine light, as if enjoying some delicious food. Help me. On the other side, another Vice City Lord also gave out a shrill roar. Before he finished speaking, he was swallowed by the evil spirit's mouth. Poof! At the moment of being engulfed by the evil spirit, his body is broken, and the blood mist is forced out of his mouth, but his spirit is swallowed up by the evil spirit. 2 Vice City Lords and 2 high-level deities were killed. For a moment, everyone's heart was pounding and their eyes were full of panic. Are these people monsters? At this time, the hundreds of thousands of soldiers in Silver Moon City were suddenly dumbfounded. The city master was blocked, and the 2 deputy city lords were killed. At this time, they just rushed to the Dragon Blood army and looked at the Dragon Blood soldiers' eyes like hell-killing gods. Their sweat came down at once. Since you are here, don't go. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan have their hands sealed. The evil spirit behind them bursts into pieces and turns into hundreds of millions of evil spirits. They go straight to the army of Inue City to kill them. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3883, Run Away. Some people exclaimed. They realized that there was something wrong with them. When the hundreds of millions of evil spirits came, their original gods felt a sharp pain and a strong sense of fear, which made them instinctively want to escape. Puff, puff. The heads of countless strong men in the city of Silver Moon burst open, and their gods were pulled out by mysterious forces and swallowed up by those evil spirits. One by one headless corpse fell on the ground, which was a chilling picture. However, people found that those who died were not strong enough to be pulled out of the body. Although the Yuan god will be a little uncomfortable for the strong people, they cannot cause substantial damage. Don't be afraid. Let's kill them together. Someone yelled. With his orders, countless strong men of Silver Moon City gathered together, and they worked together to attack outwards. Dragon Blood soldiers, to protect the safety of Dragon Dust, will not chase them. As long as they break through the blockade, it will be safe. Boom! Suddenly, the earth burst into pieces, and 2 huge palms stretched out from the earth. The palms of those palms blocked out the sun, and a huge evil spirit pattern appeared in the palm of each palm. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan stopped drinking at the same time. A pair of big hands towering into the clouds. Just as soon as they appeared, the 2 big hands suddenly closed, just like beating mosquitoes, and went straight to the group of strong people to take pictures. No! The 2 hands were too big to cover the sky and cover the universe. They came too suddenly and did not give them time to reflect. They quickly closed. Boom! A thundering explosion. The sky and earth trembled. Thousands of roars, 2 big hands, in the eyes of countless people's panic, joined together. Hundreds of thousands of strong men of Silver Moon City were covered by this slap. After the explosion, the whole world was quiet. Everyone was shocked. 2 big hands together, towering into the clouds, big to boundless, giving people a feeling of incomparable shock. Soon, people saw the blood slowly spilling from the palms of the 2 big hands. In the blood, we could see the runes flowing. It was the supreme blood. The blood slowly melted into the earth and dyed the earth red. There was a dead silence between heaven and earth, and everyone was shocked. This blow brought people endless fear. Looking at the big hands, they were full of awe. Click, click. The big hands separated slowly. People saw that the palms of the 2 big hands were mottled, but no bodies were found. The bones of hundreds of thousands of strong people were not found, and the Yuan spirits disappeared. Boom! 2 big hands slowly into the ground. The broken land began to close slowly, and finally returned to its original appearance. It seems that nothing has happened, but hundreds of thousands of strong people of Silver Moon City have disappeared. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan clapped their hands in the air, which scared everyone, thinking that they were going to do something else. As a result, They just clapped their hands to celebrate the victory. It turned out that this move was completed by two people together, one with one hand. The two cooperated perfectly, and one destroyed all the sneak attackers. Both of them were strong natives. They worshipped the same master. Their cooperation was perfect, like a gazelle hanging on a horn. It was hard to defend. This strike shocked all the people. Those strong people who besieged the Dragon Blood army were scared to flee. For a while, the whole battlefield was clean. In the distance, only Guyong and the master of Inue City were still fighting furiously. At this time, the master of Inue City was furious. He brought all the elite of Inue City. He wanted to fight for more chaos, but he didn't expect that all of them were dead except him. "You all die." The Lord of Inue roared and his eyebrows glowed. The silver moon among the visions actually appeared in his eyebrows and absorbed the vision. His whole body was wrapped in silver light, and his breath doubled. Boom boom. The master of Inue City cut out the 18 sword techniques at one breath, but Gu Yang stepped back step by step and blocked his 18 swords. The sword spirit was vertical and horizontal, the shadows of the spears were all over the sky, and the sound of the dragon singing was loud, shaking the sky. The 10,000 dragons in the picture behind Guyong seemed to have come alive and began to swim slowly. When they swam, the endless dragon chi flowed. The dragon scales of Guyong's whole body moved like the tide, and their strength was soaring wildly. "You are the only one who will die today. You want to capture the chi of chaos and let the supreme blood and the supreme bone merge? You can only dream." Gu Yang sneers. The power of 10,000 dragons circulates in his body, which endows him with endless strength. His whole body is full of endless strength. He wields his spear, is invincible and moves hard. The master of Inue City was surprised and angry. He never thought that the bald man in front of him had such terrible ability. What he didn't know was that what Guyong practiced was the secret method of the Dragon Clan. He absorbed half of the blood essence of the ancient Dragon King alone. He absorbed not only the blood essence of the Dragon King, but also the magic fragments of the Dragon King. Although not complete fragments, they were enough for him to benefit. With the help of these fragments, he had learned but could not understand the magical powers. His body is full of dragon essence and blood. After enduring endless pain, he can absorb them. But when it comes to control, it is extremely difficult. Because each dragon has its own will, it is difficult to integrate them. But today it is different. Gu Yang absorbed the essence of the ancient Dragon King. Under the dragon power of the ancient Dragon King, these blood essence can only be submitted. Now in Guyong, the Dragon King essence blood dominates the Wanlong essence blood. Like a well-disciplined team, all forces are under the control of Guyong. Now Gu Yang, for the first time, uses the power of 10,000 dragons. Even in the face of the all-out attack from the city master of Inue, he still does not step back. On the contrary, he is a little bit out of breath. The master of Inue City was so angry that he had cleaned 3 treasure lands in succession and absorbed a great deal of chaotic gas. If he could absorb the chaotic eye of dragon dust, he would be able to fuse the supreme blood and the supreme bone. Originally, the master of Inue City had missed the best opportunity to integrate the supreme blood, but he still had a chance. However, when he got to the divine realm, he needed tens of thousands of times more chaotic chi to merge the blood and bone. For this opportunity, he has been waiting for tens of thousands of years. Now he is about to succeed, but he has killed a hateful bald head, blocking his way of integration. You should know that this is his last chance. Once missed, there will be no hope of integration in his life. If the supreme blood and the supreme bone cannot be integrated, they cannot be regarded as the real bipolar supreme, nor can they exert the strongest power of the bipolar supreme. Therefore, he urgently wants to get more chaotic chi. Not only he, but all the supreme powerful people in the 3,000 world want more. Boom boom. Gu Yang blocked the way of the city lord Inue. However hard he tried, he couldn't shake Guyong. He was so angry that he yelled. Boom! A chariot roared, and the bloody clouds covered the sky, and a sarcastic voice came. The master of Silver Moon City was stopped by a younger generation. It's really funny that he has to use all his strength to suckle. The children of the Blood Clan should teach the humble people a lesson and let them know what the real power is. As the voice fell, among the blood-colored clouds, one by one Blood Clan's strong man grinned and killed, and went straight to the Dragon Blood Army. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3884. The chariot roared across the air, and a thin old man stood in front of the chariot, overlooking the whole battlefield. He was less than 5 feet tall, thin and small. He looked like a shriveled monkey, but his breath was like the sea of stars. Standing there, the whole world was shaking. His breath seemed to be stronger than that of the Silver Moon City Lord. This is a terrible strong man of blood family. He is surrounded by thousands of laws, which seems to be linked with the whole world. The old man of the Blood Clan mocked the master of Inua City. The master's face was very ugly, but he kept silent. He pretended not to hear and continued to fight with Guyone. Seeing that the master of Inua City didn't speak, the old man of Blood Clan was even more proud. Driving chariots, he led millions of Blood Clans to attack the Dragon Blood Army. Humble people are only worthy to crawl in front of the great bloody war. If you don't want to die, get out of the way. The old man of the Blood Clan stood down from the ground and said in a cold voice, "Boom!" In response to him, 2 big hands burst out from under the earth. Before the old man of Blood Clan responded, he was covered by 2 big hands, and the 2 big hands suddenly closed together. Bang! With a bang, the heaven and earth trembled. 2 big hands joined together and clapped the old Blood Clan man and tens of thousands of Blood Clan pioneers in their hands. Boom! The big hands closed, but kept shaking. It seems that there is a strong force in the resistance, the 2 in each other. Explosion! The roar of the old Blood Clan came out. With his voice falling, 2 big hands of covering the sky burst into pieces and turned into flying earth. When the 2 big hands burst into pieces, the old man of the Blood Clan flew out of the 2 big hands. People saw that the old man of the Blood Clan was in great distress and covered with blood. His commanding chariot had disappeared. Idiot, if you didn't blow up the bloody chariot, you would be dead now. Your stupidity has killed more than 100,000 people. The Blood Clan is indeed a group of lower races. At this time, he took the opportunity to fight against the king. Silver Moon City Lord and this Blood Clan old man are enemies. Both of them are strong City Lord level. They have fought openly and secretly for countless years in the world of 3,000, each with his own death and injury. When the old man of Blood Clan arrives, the master of Silver Moon City will not remind him that he can't even turn on the body protection and God's brightness. He will know the result when he rushes in. The old man of Blood Clan was frightened and angry. The big hands came too suddenly. He was too big to be in the fighting state. If he hadn't blown up his precious chariot, he would have been dead now. At this time, he realized that the master of Inua City was mocked by him. Why did he say nothing, that is, to make him suffer losses and be cheated? He was even more angry when he thought of this. If you are ignorant and dare to plot against the lord of this city, you will all die. The blood field will melt into thousands of ways. The old man of the Blood Clan roared, and the vision behind him opened up, and a bloody territory emerged. This is a bloody world. Under the interweaving of 2 kinds of runes, the violent power gushed in all directions. He was also a bipolar and supreme god-level powerful man. The old man of the Blood Clan opened his hand and held a bloody spear. He pierced the void and went straight to the Dragon Blood Army to kill him. The strong Blood Clan behind him, like a long dragon, roared away. A monkey without 4 or 2 flesh all over his body dares to be so arrogant and eat me a stick. Li Chi sneered, the first one to meet up. Behind the evil spirit vision spread, murderous, a stick straight down. Boom! Li Chi's body shook violently, and he stepped back 3 steps. With each step back, the ground under his feet shook suddenly, forming a footprints of thousands of miles. He unloaded all his strength to the earth under his feet, and he did not bear much strength. The old man of the Blood Clan was surprised. He was shocked by Li Qi's anti-shock force. His chi and blood surged and his body shook. Just at the moment when the old Blood Clan man was shocked, a long stick came quietly from his back. Suddenly, his face changed and he had no time to turn around and the spear was thrown behind him. Bang! Song Minjiwan's figure appeared. This long-standing blow directly drove the old Blood Clan away, hitting the earth like a meteor. Rock and earth technology, Li Qi's hands were printed. On the original soft land, endless divine light bloomed, forming a grinding plate with a diameter of 10,000 li. The grinding plate was smooth as iron, just like pouring steel. It seemed that the hardness was amazing. Boom! Just after the millstone was formed, the old man of the Blood Clan hit it hard, with a shocking sound. The Wanli millstone was smashed into pieces and fell deeply into the ground. It can be seen how terrible the impact of the old Blood Clan was. Puff, puff, puff. The old man of the Blood Clan slammed into the hard grinding plate, bounced high, and sprayed 3 mouthfuls of blood in the air. If he hit the earth, Song Minjiwan's blow will not do him any good, but below is a hard grinding plate. He can't let go, he can't borrow, and he can't bear it immediately. However, the old man of Blood Clan is worthy of being a strong man at the level of City Lord. His blood is amazing and his flesh is terrible. If he is someone else, he is no different from an egg thrown on a stone. He can't even leave any bones and dregs. Come again, boom! 2 big hands of covering the sky appear again and go straight to the old man to shoot. The old man is scared to death. Now his chi and blood are surging, and he can't accumulate strength. If he is photographed, he will die. Boom! The 2 hands closed, but the old man's whole body was full of blood, and he even escaped from the gap between his hands by a tiny difference. But he just escaped 2 palms, 2 long sticks like a poisonous dragon out of the hole, killed over, did not give him a chance to heal. Boom boom. Li Qi and Song Minjiwan's 2 sticks are flying up and down. The old man of Blood Clan tries his best to resist it, but he is still killed repeatedly. In a few moves, Li Qi pulls a stick on his thigh and rolls out. Poof! Song Mingyuan was just about to make up a stick, but a strong Blood Clan man came to block Song Minjiwan's attack. He was also a bipolar supreme god. He was supposed to take people to kill Xiang Longchen. When he saw the crisis of the old Blood Clan, he came to save his life. However, the old man only blocked Song Minjiwan's stick and flew out with blood. Obviously, although they are both bipolar supreme, their strength is far from that of the old Blood Clan. The man saved the old man of the Blood Clan and gave him a chance to breathe. At this time, 3 old men came to kill him. A total of 5 powerful men of the Blood Clan bipolar supreme level besieged Li Qi and Song Mingyuan. However, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan cooperated perfectly. Even in the face of the 5 people, they still had attack and defense, and they were able to advance and retreat freely, which dominated the whole battle rhythm. On the contrary, it was the 5 of them. If they were not careful, they would be hit by a stick, or they would lose their lives. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan have intercepted 5 people, and the remaining millions of Blood Clan strongmen have already attacked the Dragon Blood army under the command of the old Blood Clan. Looking at the strong man of Blood race, Xia Chen's eyes are full of fighting spirit. Brothers, it's time to get back to the familiar feeling. The arc-killing array open www. Novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3885. With the sound of summer morning, more than 2,700 Dragon Blood soldiers have changed from absolute defense array to killing array in a flash. It's like a closed flower that blooms in an instant. There are 900 Dragon Blood warriors in the interior, the middle, and the outside. It's like a huge gear running, and the strong Blood race people who rush in are smashed in an instant. Puff puff. Dragon Blood soldiers run with all their strength, and the speed is as fast as the extreme, just like a saw blade running at high speed, which will be torn up by people in the future. The array is still the same as before, and people are still the original ones. But after suffering from fate, Dragon Blood soldiers are no longer the original soldiers. After years and tribulations, they are more fierce, more fierce, more confident, and ruthless than ever before. The Blood Clan strongmen wanted to crush them with the advantage of the number. As a result, in the blink of an eye, hundreds of thousands of Blood Clan strongmen splashed blood on the spot. In front of the Dragon Blood Army, they were just a group of harmless cabbage radishes, which could only be slaughtered and crushed. Escape, some people find that it's not good. If you go on like this, you'll die as many people as you come. This array is fierce and strong, and it's invincible. It can't be suppressed by more people. Help me. No. I don't want to die. But when they want to exit, they find that once they rush in, they can't get out anymore. The space around them is distorted, and there is an invisible countercurrent when they escape. They can't rush out at all. The most terrifying thing is that the Dragon Blood Soldiers are like 3 giant dragons circling back and forth. The strength of the 900 Dragon Blood Soldiers has formed a unique magnetic field. Once touched, it is equivalent to being impacted by the joint efforts of 900 soldiers. That kind of power is hopeless. Puff, puff. The strong members of the Blood Clan who rushed into the battle were crying. They were in despair and had no strength to resist. They could only watch themselves mercilessly torn apart by the Dragon Blood Soldiers. Only those Blood Clan strong people who have not yet rushed into the array can escape without being pulled by space. The rest of the Blood Clan strong men are totally destroyed in a few breaths. Millions of strong Blood Clan, only a few breaths, only a few 100,000 fish. For a time, blood-strong people are scared silly, eyes are full of fear. They are facing not a group of people, but a group of demons, a group of special harvest life of the devil. Xia Chen and Guoran, as well as all the Dragon Blood Soldiers, were in full swing. They finally found that kind of mutual cooperation and heartfelt feeling again. Over the years, they have been fighting their own battles, and now they are all stronger. They are once again twisted into a rope, and the power released is even frightening to them. Xia Chen, the most excited and proud man, just now, he regrouped each Dragon Blood warrior and distributed new runes for everyone to familiarize themselves with their positions and to run in with the people around them. Just finished these, the strong Blood Clan killed. They did not have much time to rehearse, but all of a sudden can burst out such an amazing effect, which makes Xiachen feel incomparably excited and proud. Obviously, the tacit understanding of the Dragon Blood Soldiers is imprinted in the blood and soul. With one action and one look, they can understand each other's mind. This tacit understanding was tempered in the countless battles of life and death in Tianwu Land and will never disappear. Boom! The Dragon Blood Soldiers have just defeated the strong men of the Blood Clan. They are shocked in the void. There are countless violent breath coming from all directions. There are more than one strong man at the City Lord level. Judging from the breath, there are dozens of them. Ha ha, it's the scale of the ancestor dragon. A small Terran wants to swallow the scale of the dragon. Don't dream. This treasure is not something you can touch. A man laughs like thunder. He is a strong ORC. His whole body is covered with scales. His wings are like an eagle, but he drags a slender tail several times longer than his body. The tail is slender, like a soft whip, the tip of the tail, but there are silver gray bone thorns, flashing a chilling edge. This is an unknown creature, with archaic breath on his body, and his prestige is astonishing. Behind him, countless monsters and powerful men swarm to him, covering the sky with gas. Humble people dare to touch holy things? It's really a lack of people's hearts. The snake swallows the elephant. How much it swallows, it will eventually spit out. Another voice came, which was also the arrival of a terrible strong man. The man was 100 li tall, with countless lines on his bronze skin. His voice was like a Hong Zhong and a big Lu, which made people's soul tremble. One by one, they all came to kill with boundless divine power. These were strong men of the same level as the master of Inua City and the elder of Blood Clan. Even the breath was more terrifying than them, and dozens of them suddenly appeared. After the arrival of these people, they all saw the Archean dragon corpses around them, but in the end they were attracted by the dragon dust, and all of them rushed to the dragon dust. These people are from different forces, different races, and all intend to take the golden eggshell of Longchen as soon as possible. Asshole. With so many terror-powerful men appearing at the same time, Gu Yang, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan and others were frightened and angry, and quickly retreated and rushed to these strong men. The mantis arm blocks the cart. It's ridiculous that he doesn't measure himself. The unknown god with a long tail sneered, and the long tail behind it crossed a strange arc in the void, like a lightning to the valley sun. Boom! With a bang, Gu Yang stepped on the void, and 2 ripples were made on the void. The violent friction sound made the heaven and earth tremble. However, the unknown creature was shocked by Gu Yang and flew far away. I can't imagine that there are such strong people in the Terran family. However, it is useless after all. I won't give you the opportunity to grow up. Today, you are all going to die. Another strong man of the city lord level killed him, and his whole body rune flowed. In the roar of the vigorous wind, the supernatural soldiers were cut down. One shot was the most fierce killing. It's you who are dead. When the boss goes out, you don't want to live. Gu Yang roared, and his spear was like an electric stab. Bang! Gu Yang just fought with this man. Due to his lack of strength, he was shocked by the man's blow, and his blood was surging, and he dropped out of the distance. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan roared at the same time. Suddenly, the earth surged like a tide. A wall of thick soil rushed out of the ground like a shield, blocking the heaven and earth and isolating the strong from the outside. Boom! The wall of thick soil just agglomerates, then it explodes. No, they don't give us time to reinforce. They can't do our best defense. Song Mingyuan is anxious about the tunnel. The thick soil wall that they have just formed has not yet been fully formed, and it cannot resist the simultaneous attacks of so many powerful men. The humble people, the most precious, are not for you to touch. At the moment when the wall was broken, a figure appeared in front of the dragon blood soldier with a fierce smile on his face, and his hands were printed. The bloody light condensed from his hands, and the terrifying pressure spread rapidly. Humble? Are you talking about you? At this time, the sound of a sword breaking in the sky came. Poof! A sword spirit extended from the top of the man's head to his crotch. His whole body trembled and his face was full of panic. Then his body slowly staggered and fell to both sides. He was even split into 2 pieces by a sword. Not only was the man split, but also the divine light condensed in his hands was split into 2 pieces like fruit and scattered in the void. When the 2 bodies were separated from the divine light, people saw a handsome man with cold face and starry eyes. Under the dragon dust seat, Yu Zifeng, commander of the 4th Army of the Dragon Blood Army, is here to send you off on your way. After that, Yu Zifeng walked with the sword and chopped down another strong man of the city lord level who had just rushed in. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3886. When Yu Zifeng arrived, the Dragon's Blood Army was boiling. Yu Zifeng was a peerless sword cultivation. Even Longchen himself said that Yu Zifeng was the first in terms of attack damage. At this time as like as 2 peas, the black hair flew and the sword was flying in the same shape. But his breath changed and became more and more fierce, more sharp, his breath, like a long sword out of the sheath. Wan Dao also want to avoid his edge. Hiss! When a sword is cut out, you can't see the ripples all over the sky, let alone the roar. It looks like a common sword, but it cuts off the heaven and earth, cuts off the confinement of time and space, and people's vision begins to dislocation, as if the heaven and earth are cut off by a sword. The city lord level strong man in front of Yu Zifeng was shocked. Sword cultivation. For any strong person, sword cultivation is the last thing they want to meet and the most frightening. Sword cultivation is the most elusive existence in the world. They have supreme power. Their killing power can't be evaluated by cultivation and realm. It is also the most unreasonable existence in the world. Moreover, there is a huge gap between sword cultivation and sword cultivation. Among the public practitioners, ordinary sword cultivation can only be regarded as above the middle level. If you fight with the same level, sword cultivation has the highest chance of winning. However, there are some terrors in sword cultivation, which can ignore the cultivation and the realm, and even ignore the constraints of heaven and the suppression of laws. They can do whatever they like. When the city master level strong man with skills was split into 2 pieces by Yu Zifeng's sword, countless people were terrified. When Yu Zifeng rushed to the strong man, he thought for the first time whether to resist or escape. In the moment of his hesitation, Yu Zifeng's sword had been mercilessly cut off. Poof! At the critical moment, the strong man of the city lord level opened a huge shield. However, the shield had just been opened, and his body trembled, and the shield was safe, but the man had been split into 2 pieces by Yu Zifeng's sword. What? Countless people were surprised. Why was the man killed with a sword when his shield was clearly in front of him? Can sword chi kill people through shield? No, it's the ability to cut through the laws of time. Someone screamed in horror and saw the way. Yu Zifeng's sword was not cut on the man through the shield, but the shield that he raised only after he had been cut on the man first. In other words, Yu Zifeng's sword has exceeded the time limit. When they saw Yu Zifeng's action, it was a delayed action. This sword was above the law. How could there be such a terrible sword cultivation? Some people are scared and scared. Even the strong man at the level of city lord is afraid of such terrible sword cultivation. Transcending the law of time means that when they see Yu Zifeng holding up his sword, they are actually split into 2 pieces. Poof! Yu Zifeng crossed 1,000 miles and killed him in the air with 1 sword. One of the city lord level strongmen had already escaped. Unfortunately, after the long sword of Yu Zifeng was waved, a figure was cut into 2 pieces 100 miles away. The direction and angle of Yu Zifeng's attack is completely different from the position of the man. It's like the moment when Yu Zifeng wields his sword, there is an invisible long sword that cuts the man off. The strange picture makes countless people feel scared. Sword cultivation is so unreasonable that we can't infer them from the principles and laws of the cultivation world. Sword cultivation is such a group of existence beyond common sense. When Yu Zifeng arrived, he put out 3 swords and killed 3 people. All of them were the 2 pole supreme gods. However, in front of Yu Zifeng, they had no strength to fight back. With 1 sword, the dragon blood soldiers were excited and cheered. Those who were strong at the level of lord of the city were so frightened that they rushed to retreat and fled to the distance as if avoiding the god of pestilence. 1 person and 1 sword scared several 10 bipolar supreme gods to flee. That picture is enough to shock the world. The sea of men tactics, give me a rush, kill him with people, all the strength of sword training is used in attack, defense is his fatal short board, ordinary people can kill him with a single blow, kill him. A city lord level strong man retreated and roared, commanding hundreds of thousands of his men to attack Yu Zifeng. People all over the world know the terror of sword cultivation, but they also know the weakness of sword cultivation. Sword cultivation only attacks and has no defense. In particular, the sword cultivation of the super strong man devotes all his mind to the attack. Therefore, his attack is like the blade of God, which cannot be resisted. However, the way of heaven is fair. Such a terrible attack has also created loopholes in their defense. Sword repair sacrifice defense for absolute attack power. If they are attacked, they are very easy to be killed. Especially in the war of chaos, once the strong seize the loophole, it will be fatal. Let's all go and kill this Terran kid. All of them. If you don't work hard, you'll kill them. Give it to me. Other city lord level strongmen also roared, directing the disciples to use their lives to pile up this terrible sword cultivation. With the roar of these people, the powerful people of all ethnic groups bite their teeth and roar to kill them. They rush to Yu Zifeng like a tide. 10,000 swords kill immortals, Yu Zifeng snorted coldly. He pinched a seal formula in his left hand and pointed the sword in his right hand to the sky. Each sword shadow came out like a lotus blossom, and hundreds of millions of sword shadows trembled and stabbed in all directions. Puff, puff. The sword shadow is invisible and qualitative. Hundreds of millions of sword shadows form a boundless sword sea. When the sea of people rushes into the sword sea, it is instantly submerged. The invisible sword spirit cannot be stopped through these people's bodies, and their armor magic weapons cannot be blocked, and the sword spirit penetrates the body one by one. After the tide of the sword, countless creatures fell like raindrops. There were only blood holes on their bodies, and the wounds were not big. But the fire of soul was extinguished. At the same time, Yu Zaifeng's sword will crush their original spirit. The strategy of the sea of people failed. Those strong men at the city lord level watched the endless corpses fall from the sky, and their eyes were filled with fear and anger, which was the most terrifying sword cultivation they had ever seen in their lives. The ability to cut off the law of time, the irresistible will of Kendo, who can resist him? There is a city lord level strong people panic and anger, but there is no way. Only when blood and bone are truly integrated, and the crown of heaven is truly awakened and integrated into the way of heaven, can we resist this ability to cut off the law of time. Someone was biting his teeth. However, they are all powerful in the divine realm. Although they have the supreme blood and the supreme bone at the same time, in their realm, if they want to integrate the two, they need endless chaotic gas. Compared with the Tinjiao people in the fairyland, they are at an absolute disadvantage. Sword repair? Let me see if it's really as powerful as the legend says. Just at this time, a cold and proud voice came. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3887. The sound is like thunder. Before people arrive, the gloomy breath has covered the sky. The violent force is crushing the void, which makes people breathless. One holds a dragon gun and appears from a distance. Bam bang bang. Every step he took, the heaven and earth trembled once, just like the ancient ferocious god stepping into the sky and threatening. It is the earliest dragon Qinyan who came here to absorb dragon blood. Long Qinyan also has the inheritance of dragon, and it is also the most insidious and cunning ghost fox and evil dragon inheritance of the dragon clan. The ghost fox and evil dragon belong to the evil dragon family, and the dark evil dragon and hell evil dragon which contact with the dragon dust belong to the same family. The evil dragon clan is full of fierce and dark blood. They are cruel and cold-blooded. However, the dragon clan has its own pride and disdains to play tricks. Ghost fox and evil dragon are different species of the evil dragon clan. It is said that the ghost fox was the royal family of the fox in the Honghuang era. Although it was an animal family, it had the power of ghost and fought with the evil dragon clan, and was eventually destroyed by the evil dragon clan. However, before the downfall of the ghost fox clan, a curse was made to make the evil dragon clan pay a painful price until the evil dragon clan perished. At that time, the evil dragon clan didn't care about it. However, after hundreds of thousands of years, the evil dragon family occasionally gave birth to some exotic dragons. These evil dragons began to be no different from ordinary ones. But when they became powerful, they would awaken the will of the ghost fox and rebel against the dragon clan. They are not only powerful but also very smart. Some ghost foxes and evil dragons sit on the position of the leader of a clan and then kill all the clansmen with their own hands. Although some ghost foxes and evil dragons did not have control, they also acted in secret and slaughtered the clansmen. There were tens of millions of branches of the evil dragon clan. Almost every branch of the family was greatly damaged by the birth of the ghost fox and evil dragon. Although in the end, the evil dragon clan made a great cleanup and killed countless strong evil dragon masters with the mark of ghost fox. However, the powerful evil dragon clan fell sharply in the power of the dragon clan and was not as good as before. The evil dragon clan knew that the curse of the ghost fox clan was not to frighten people. They integrated their own curse into the blood of the evil dragon clan. With the development of the evil dragon clan, it has been handed down by blood that some evil dragons with special talent will awaken the curse of the ghost fox clan, and there will be hatred and strong desire to destroy the evil dragon clan. However, the headache of the evil dragon clan is that this curse has no solution at all. Only by baptizing the whole family with the holy glory of the holy dragon can the curse be eradicated completely. However, each generation of sacred dragon is an emperor above the throne, and will not help them at all. Therefore, the evil dragon clan can only let the major races supervise each other and regularly check whether there is a ghost fox or an evil dragon. However, even so, every tens of thousands of years, there will be news that the ghost fox and the evil dragon are the disaster side. Every time the ghost fox and the evil dragon appear, there will be a bloodbath. The evil dragon is the nightmare of many practitioners, and the ghost fox and evil dragon is the nightmare of the evil dragon clan. When Long Chinian was young, he happened to meet a ghost fox and evil dragon who was about to die in a treasure land. The ghost fox and evil dragon was chased and killed by the powerful people of the endless evil dragon family. Although he finally killed all the enemies, he had run out of oil and the lamp was dry. When he saw Long Chinian, he found that he had a sinister character and cruel means. Although he was a human race, he did not exclude his blood. He didn't give Long Chinian the chance to refuse. He directly imprinted his blood power, magic power and ghost fox will on his body. If it wasn't for the ghost fox, the evil dragon had run out of oil and the lamp had run out, it would not have been cheap for the dragon to start the new year. But the ghost fox and the evil dragon knew that as long as the ghost fox's will was there, once the dragon Chinian met the strong one of the evil dragon clan, his will would break out and lead him to kill the evil dragon clan. This is enough. Long Chinian won the inheritance of ghost fox and evil dragon. His fighting power was towering and he rose like a comet. No one in the same rank was the enemy of his move. After years of arrogance, he finally met Xia Guhong and ended his invincible myth. However, Long Chinian is not willing to fight against Xia Guhong because his potential cannot be stimulated. His ghost fox and dragon's supreme blood and bones are in a state of deep sleep. He must obtain enough chaotic qi to awaken them. However, he spent countless efforts to collect the qi of chaos, which was just a drop in the bucket. Not to mention the fusion of the supreme bone and the supreme blood, even the simplest supreme blood of awakening could not do. Finally, he could only seal himself and wait for the opportunity. When dragon dust was buried in the heaven, it aroused the vision of heaven and earth, and made the heaven and earth split, and the treasure lands were revealed. He felt the call of dragon blood at the first time. When he came here, he saw the sacred dragon scale at a glance. He wanted to absorb it. As a result, he was bounced away by the sacred pressure on the dragon scale, and could not be absorbed at all. What's more, he found that the dragon that gave birth to one of his strong calls was not the golden dragon scale, but the corpse of a ghost fox and evil dragon, that is, the Archean dragon corpse he absorbed. He was the first one to arrive, and he has the inheritance of ghost fox and evil dragon. The corpse of Taiga dragon has a great affinity for him, and the absorption speed is much faster than others. In addition, the ghost fox and evil dragon breath is too special. Other people can only absorb the qi of chaos when they come here. Only he is recognized by the dragon corpse. When he absorbs the blood of the dragon, he can be nourished by the qi of chaos. Today, he has accomplished his job and goes straight to the dragon dust to kill him. Seeing that Yu Zifeng blocked the way, he killed several 10 City Lord level strong men and fled. He was not powerful, so he directly challenged Yu Zifeng. When Long Chinian appeared, his powerful qi and blood made everyone in the audience feel a burst of fear, especially the other king of heaven in the back of his head, and the runes of 2 colors flowed back and forth, showing the trend of singing together. This he has fused the supreme bone and the supreme blood to become the true bipolar supreme. Some city lord level strong man exclaimed, and his voice was full of envy and envy. The fusion of blood and bone is the real bipolar supreme. The superposition of the two is not a simple 1 + 1, but can produce several times or even dozens of times the original strength. After all, Long Chinian is a strong one in the fairyland, and his state is low. Compared with the strong one in the divine realm, he needs less than 1/10 of the chaos, so it is much easier. The real bipolar supremacy finally appeared. Long Chinian was full of pressure. The reputation of bipolar supremacy was so great that even the strong men at the level of City Lord were afraid. However, what makes them feel lucky is that Long Chinian is aimed at Longchen, not at them. Long Chinian pointed his spear at Yu Zifeng and said coldly, "Let's make 3 moves, you can do it." www. Novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.